you know, and that's probably my fault more so than the perception of Henderson being the number 2 now.
You might be right, though. Who knows what?
I could be vastly wrong as well. I mean, there is that. It's overall.
I suppose so. And actually, I think there was a period a little while ago where we were thinking, hang on, we're struggling for keepers, and then you've got Pope, who's been at Newcastle, but Ramsdale, another English keeper, has played there as well. He's gone back to Southampton. Newcastle are going to be signing another keeper, I understand. Pope, his future there is in doubt, I suppose, but we've already got 3, I think, very good goalkeepers in this squad at this World Cup, so I don't think goalkeepers are a problem anymore.
No, and I think it's quite good, actually, that we've got a perceived number 1 in Pickford, and 2 that us on the panel here, you know, we've got 2 to 1.
Are we a panel now?
I don't know what. I think it's quite good that we've got 2 goalkeepers that we perceive are quite close to each other, because when I've taken goalkeepers to finals, there is a 1, 2, 3 pecking order. There is a number 1 that you find, but 2 and 3 know they are 2 and 3, and I think it's quite nice that they might be closer as 2s to get into that first team slot if needed.
And the other thing about James Trafford, and I'm a big Dean Henderson fan, I'm not saying I'm going down on Trafford's side, but the other thing about Trafford is he has that extraordinary tournament record with the under-21s where he didn't concede a goal in 6 matches and excelled at penalty shootouts, and, you know, building for the future. He's still only, what, 22, 23, and you think he could have a load of World Cups ahead of him.
And the reality is, and we know from him himself, he said that he went to Man City thinking he'd be the number 1, then all of a sudden Donnarumma arrives and he's got a decision to make about his future now. Does he stay there? Does he go elsewhere? Will he be happy being just a quick keeper or whatever? Will he be thinking, you know, new managers come in and might be the number 1? I mean, if you're ousting Donnarumma, then that's exceptional, but would you suggest that he might need a move to be England's number 1, or is nobody going to get past Pickford?
It's really difficult because he's gone to Burnley to get that first team experience, you know, and get first team football, and he's gone, apart from where the team finished up, from his own individual, he was probably one of the shining stars that come out of that, you know, and getting promoted and whatever. So, without a doubt, footballers want to play football. I'm astounded if you don't want to play football.
Yeah, he's got to play. I mean, whether that's at Man City or whether it's elsewhere, but he has to play. If he's got ambitions of ousting Jordan Pickford for the next European Championships, and ousting Dean Henderson for the next European Championships, he has to be playing week in, week out in the Premier League, in my opinion.
You said yesterday on the show you had a little meeting with David Moyes. Is he very happy with Jordan Pickford? Is he?
Delighted with it.
Okay.
Not deleted. Yeah. No, he likes Jordan, as I say.
I think it's impossible to dislike him. I just remember that France quarter-final last World Cup in Qatar where Tchouameni scored from downtown and Pickford just couldn't reach it. I think Trafford breaches that. And you can't say anything other than Pickford's number 1.
The incredible thing is, every time you sort of pick on Pickford, Jim will say to me, you know what, he hasn't conceded a goal for like 8 decades or something. It's incredible.
When was the last goal he conceded on foreign soil?
That's decades.
I'm being serious. When was the last? He doesn't look 80, does he?
No.
When was the last goal he conceded on foreign soil? Jordan Pickford.
Must have been at the Euros.
Yeah, it was the final of the Euros.
Right. So you conceded 2 there as well. Listen, I'm just looking for clean sheets from the keeper, that's all. Talksport steamed up with meantime to create a lager in time for the World Cup. It's called So Good Lager, which will be poured from all O'Neill's pubs and some of the best sports pubs across the UK. So whether you're watching the action this summer or settling in for the afternoon with your mates, make sure you check out talksport.com/sogood to find your nearest pub. So Good, 18 plus. Please drink responsibly. We're going to hear from Thomas Tuchel very shortly and from Mark Gahey as well.
All the latest football news first, fresh and expertly filtered for real fans. Don't miss the Early Sports Breakfast on Talksport, sponsored by Costa Express.
We're ready to bring you all
Pundit analysis meets well-balanced mid-match debate in one quality breakfast blend.
none of that second-half performance was at the back.
Get on the ball football opinion on the go. The Early Sports Breakfast, tomorrow morning from 5 on Talksport, sponsored by Costa Express. Real beans, real milk, real signature taste.
Massive news from Bet365. 365. The world's biggest football tournament is here. And to celebrate, Bet365 are bringing you more offers than ever before. We've got incredible offers every single day of this summer's tournament. There you have it. Download the app and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. New and eligible customers only. T's and restrictions apply. 18 plus. Please play responsibly. Visit gambleaware.org.
The next generation of sealed cartridges from Unibond has landed.
We have come from the future to save mankind one kitchen and bathroom silicone at a time.
Unibond's revolutionary notebook opening system is easy to use and saves you time on the job. And with long-lasting mold resistance, it's a professional-grade product that's out of this world.
And they are guaranteed for 15 of your Earth years.
Unibond's next generation of sealed cartridges, available now at leading DIY retailers nationwide.
The future is unpredictable at times, but the Open University are the experts in online learning, allowing you to fit study around your life. What's more, you'll have support from dedicated tutors every step of the way. Now, suddenly your possibilities are open. Search the Open University to find out more. The Open University, the future is open.
Mister.
At Mr. Q, we tell it how it is. When players win, they love Q. The Portuguese prima donna loves polishing his budget for himself. But when players lose, they hate Q. Like a last-minute VAR controversy. Mr. Q, the casino you love to hate. And you'll love 100 free spins on Big Bass Splash with your first deposit. Play at MrQ.com or on the app. UK 18 plus residents only. Minimum £10 first deposit. 10p per spin. Free spins must be used with 48 hours of deposit. All winnings paid in cash. T's and C's apply. Play safely.
From the dugout in Dallas to the last-minute goal in LA. Starts this Thursday. Official broadcaster of the FIFA World Cup 2026. The fun. Talk sport.
Good evening with your sports headlines at 2 minutes past 8. I'm Hugo Charbray. We'll shortly be hearing from Mark Gavey and Thomas Tuchel ahead of England's final World Cup warm-up game against Costa Rica tomorrow. The team that plays tomorrow is expected to be closer to the 11 Tuchel names for the opener versus Croatia in 8 days' time. Tomorrow's match is, of course, live right here on Talk Sport. Elsewhere, is Ben Stokes really considering leaving England and retiring from international cricket? It's been suggested to us that that's exactly the position he's in, as he's investigated for an incident in a nightclub on Monday morning. Here's the Cricketers magazine's George Doble.
He's been a brilliant leader. I'm not positive he's the best football captain, and he's out of form, but I think he needs more support, personally, right now. He looked tired, he looked jaded, he looked irritable in these last couple of weeks.
Details have emerged that Stokes was drinking with England rugby captain Mary Itoje before the incident happened later on. Now the Lionesses have just kicked off in their final World Cup qualifier against Ukraine. Unless they can better Spain's result against Iceland, Serena Wiegmann's side will need to win a playoff to make it to the finals. Meanwhile, Iran says their fans are being deprived as they've been stripped of their allocation of tickets for the World Cup. That has also, in the last 24 hours, a Somalian referee's been removed from the officials list because he was denied entry to the US. Former referee Christina Uncle's unsure how this has been allowed to happen.
Usually when you typically go through FIFA, it's pretty much guaranteed that you're going to be going through, right? The proper channels, the accreditation, the certification. There's usually a front line to the immigration process.
And Serena Williams has made a winning return to tennis 4 years after walking away from the court. 23-time Grand Slam champion is through to the quarterfinals of the women's doubles at Queen after a straight sets win alongside Canadian Victoria Mbuto. There's more on our website at talksport.com.
Talksport News.
30-year-old man has been charged with attempted murder over last night's North Belfast attack, and 2 men have been jailed for their part in violence in Southampton last week, which followed the death of Henry Novak.
Talksport weather with QuickFit. The season's changing, so get your car's shin pads and studs checked for spring with a free vehicle safety check. Booking centre or at quickfit.com today.
Showers easing this evening to leave some late sunny spells. A rather chilly night ahead of blustery showers tomorrow.
Stay far on DAB, online, on your mobile, and on your smart TV. It's game on for the World Cup. Big name reaction from both sides of the phone. Stay far with Adrian Durham, Stuart Pearce, and Jim Ralford, live from Orlando.
TalkSport. We are live in Orlando from Tom's Watch Bar, big sports bar. Right on the top floor on the rooftop terrace we are broadcasting from. You might be able to see in the background if you're watching on TalkSport's YouTube channel or on your smart TV. Big Ferris wheel in the background. There's a huge kind of swing thing as well. And if you actually listen to the TalkSport World Cup Daily podcast that'll be out first thing tomorrow morning, there'll be more on that swing. These guys don't know about it, but there will be. It'll be me, Jim, and Stu on the podcast. So make sure. In fact, we're going to be doing it all through the World Cup, virtually every day. When it's around England games, before England games, after England games, it'll be very England and very serious. Beyond that, it'll be all about what Stuart's got up to, because you're a very funny man. Not really. Generally speaking, yeah. Look at your analogy from the Kennedy Space Center. It's incredible.
It's quite a good analogy. You've got to pick things up on your travels. You know, information, nuggets of information. The security vaults were incredible.
Pass me by that, sorry.
Well, I went back to my electrical past. I was walking around looking at the electrical work and thinking, glad I weren't on this job.
Could have gone horribly wrong. We actually had a power cut here about 10 minutes before we started the show, and I thought Stuart's going to be busy leading up to the show, getting us back on air, and it worked. Maybe it was just the magic. You didn't do anything, it was just the magic that came from your head.
Like the air in
There will be more details on the podcast along the way from the day at the Kennedy Space Centre, but very quickly, just to tease that a little bit, Jim, but are you a believer in the moon landings or not?
Well, I haven't really didn't, one way or the other, yeah. He was so sceptical, wasn't he, first, and that's when they were that.
Unbelievable. Yeah, more on the podcast, so do check that out. Let's bring in a USA legend, shall we? 82 international caps, a USA Hall of Famer, made it into the Premier League Team of the Year in 2003 as well. Former Liverpool, Blackburn, Spurs keeper Brad Friedel is with us on TalkSport. How you doing, Brad?
Very well. How are you guys?
Yeah, real good. Great to have you on, and thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. I mean, listen, the World Cup's around the corner, 48 hours or so till we get started in Mexico, but from an American point of view, how are you feeling about it? Have we lost Brad? We've lost Brad. So we'll try and get him back. I want to talk about Kieran McKenna going to Fulham as well. The Ipswich manager, we believe, is going to be heading to Fulham from Ipswich this summer. Marco Silva's left already. So I want to get your views on that. First of all, on the fact that, Stuart, there's an £8 million release fee that Fulham, it looks like they're going to pay, which I find a bit eye-watering. But can you understand McKenna going to Fulham? Because I'm thinking to myself, crowds and history, maybe Ipswich are a little bit bigger than Fulham, I don't know.
Difficult one, this. Firstly, let's start with Silva leaving Fulham. It's not akin to Guardiola leaving Manchester City, but I think it will leave a big void, I've got to say. I think he's done a brilliant job there. He continually put Fulham in a position where they were never ever looking over their shoulder of a relegation campaign or anything like that. Played some good football, so I think it will be a massive miss. McKenna, the fact that Fulham are potentially happy to pay that sort of money to get him out of there, I think it's a really big thing, and it says this is the fellow we want to take over from an outstanding manager that we've had for a few years. So the transition will be really interesting. I would be a little bit nervous, not because of McKenna's ability to manage, but the transition in a manager from a really consistency of Fulham. Every year you go in the Premier League, you know they're going to be somewhere in that mid-band team, comfortable, never in any problems at the bottom. But a division on a good run, they could be pushing the European places.
It's interesting. Now, we'll get more on this actually, because I think there's a lot more to it. I think Ipswich fans, well, one of them, who I know very well, messaged me saying he's a snake, which, wow, I mean, it's quite the comment. But Ipswich to Fulham, is that really a step up? Some would see it as a step up, but we'll come back to that because Brad Friedel has rejoined us on TalkSport. Brad, we've got you back. How you doing?
Yeah, good. Sorry about that. Don't know what
Yeah, no problem at all. The World Cup's around the corner. How are you feeling about it from a USA point of view?
Well, much better right now than I was about a month or 6 weeks ago. I'm in Boston right now, getting ready to all the stadium runs and tours at Foxborough. I'm going to be calling the Haiti Scotland game first. I liked also the U.S.'s lead-up games. I thought against Senegal and Germany, they looked very good. I've said from the get-go, I thought Mauricio Pochettino will get the team together, and I think he has done. I hope Chris Richards is fit. He's a huge part of our team. But it seems like all the cities are getting into it now, so it's nice to see. Go to the airports, finally see some things about the World Cup, and Americans like a big event, and this is the biggest in the world.
Who's going to be the standout player for the Americans, do you think? Someone that, might be just under the radar at the moment, that might really grab everyone's attention?
I think someone like a Ricardo Pepi could do something. He's looked really sharp in the trainings I've seen. Looked good in the couple of games. I think the normal ones for Stewart, Chris Richards is going to be important. Tyler Adams, Weston McKennie, Christian Pulisic, Anthony Robinson. I think everyone knows about that. But the two that how the number 9 does, whether it's Balogun or Pepi, and how the goalkeeper does. Matt Freese looks to be set to get the number 1 spot, and let's see if he can become a star, because he's going to be needed for the U.S. We're not going to be walking over anyone. The group's going to be very tough, and knockout stage is even tougher.
Brad, what do you think success looks like for the USA in this team?
Getting out of the group first. I know a lot of people were jumping up and down in the U.S. thinking we got Paraguay, we got Australia, and we've got, and as it turned out to be Turkey. Anyone who qualifies from South America is good, and they're going to fight like crazy. Australia is going to set up defensively. I think player for player we are better than them, but not so much better that it's a guaranteed 3 points. And if we take that lightly, that'll be a difficult game. And Turkey, I think player for player, are arguably better than our players. So I think getting out of the group, getting out in first or second position is really important. We don't want to be in one of those third positions for us, because then you can get drawn against somebody who would be really difficult. And then once in the knockout rounds, it's a flip of a coin of who you get drawn against. So if you get drawn against one of the big boys and lose, and you fight to the finish, I think that's considered success. We're still not a footballing nation. We're growing. We've grown leaps and bounds, but it's still not the culture of football over here. So we still have a ways to go to get all the best athletes wanting to be players, but we can also cause some teams some issues.
Brad, you're a terrific keeper yourself. We've got to take you back to that keeper debate. Matt Turner seemingly kind of demoted. Matt Freese, as you said, is going to be getting that job as the USA number 1. Is that the right decision? Can you understand why Pochettino's made that?
I can understand. I think it was a difficult decision for sure. I think if you look back, Matt Turner made a decision to go to Arsenal, not being the number 1. Just similar to Zach Steffen when he went to Manchester City, who was also an excellent goalkeeper, to not be the number 1. Matt Freese has played every game. You see the number 3 goalkeeper that came into the squad, Chris Brady, just turned 22, has over 100 professional starts. So playing as a goalkeeper and having consistency is really important. I thought Matt Turner made the right decision to come back to MLS to play consistently. I think he got himself into the reckoning for sure. And Matt's actually played really well the last 6 or 7 games in MLS. Matt Turner, but Freese has also played pretty well. And I thought against Germany he wasn't at fault for the goals, and I thought he looked calm and composed, really good in possession with his feet, and he got 90 minutes. And let's see. This is his first big tournament, but we all get our first tournaments somewhere, and this is his. And I gave Matt Freese his international debut with the U19 under national team squad and your youth national team squad. He's a really good kid, great athlete, and let's see if he can make himself a star.
Brad, just stay there. We're going to talk to you at length in a few moments' time. Brad Friedel, former USA international keeper, with us on Talk Sport. Let's go to the England camp. We can hear from the England manager, Thomas Tuchel.
Yesterday and today, and ready to give it a push tomorrow. Push means more than 45 minutes. Players will play 60, maybe some 70. Decision is not made yet how it is, and we will make this decision in the afternoon. But that's the plan. We have then the chance to load the players one day later in a match behind closed doors in our training facility, and then pre-camp is finished and we start our adventure 2 days later in Kansas. But like I said, we expect a push tomorrow, physical and from intensity and also from style of play, from ball speed and everything. Wanna take the next step, and we feel ready for it.
More than any other player in the squad, it feels to me like you've kind of tried especially hard to accommodate John Stones. I mean, we saw you take him out to Barcelona last summer when he wasn't playing just because you wanted to spend some time with him, getting around the group. What does he offer that others don't? And I wondered if it's maybe a positive that he hasn't played as much football as some of the other guys in the team. Maybe he's a bit fresher going into this.
Well, he feels very, very good. He feels totally competitive. He hasn't played a lot of minutes, not as many as we would have liked ideally, but he was available. I think that's a big difference. So he was not injured a lot through the season. He was available. He has trust in his body, and most importantly, now he did ever so good for us when he was in camp. He offers us a lot. I think like he is as a football player on the highest level, defender of highest quality, can step in into midfield. He's confident in build-up. He can switch between different formations fluidly. He's a proven winner, won so many titles. He knows what it takes, and on top of it, he's a very nice personality, and totally accepted, nice person, friendly, humble, and top personality. So that's the full package. I'm very happy that he arrived in a calm set of mind. Very happy to be in camp, ready to go, and the best news is he's training every training session. He played the 45 minutes and is ready to go. I think he's on high level.
So Thomas, with that said, would you be ready to start John Stones in the first match against Croatia?
Of course, everyone can start. Everyone is fit. Everyone is ready, and John is one of them. Everyone is ready to go. But before we think about this, we have 2 more matches to play, and hopefully we take the next step, and hopefully we all stay healthy and have no injury worries, that we have the full availability, and then hopefully the full choice before Croatia. But first things first.
You have the whole gang back together. Declan Rice, your vice captain. When Gareth Southgate took over at England, he said, "What I need is more leaders on the pitch, more captains without armbands." What Declan Rice has often described that. First, talk to us about your decision to make Declan vice captain, and tell us how many captains without armbands do you have to go and win this World Cup?
Well, we have a leadership group of 5-6 players, if you want to call them captains without armband, and Declan is one of them, and Harry is of course one of them. So these are the 2 guys with armband. Harry is our captain, there's no doubt about it, and Declan is our second captain. When Harry was not in camp and didn't play against Wales, we had the choice, and it was a very quick one and a very obvious one for me to give it to Declan. He's on highest football IQ. He takes care about formation. He takes care about our structure. He takes care about the adaptation, about the rhythm in our game. I think he had outstanding 2 seasons in his personal career. The last 2 years with Arsenal was one of the main players for me in Europe in the Champions League campaigns. One of the very best midfielders in Europe at the very moment, full of confidence, and that's why he's my vice captain.
Hi Thomas, Johnny Del Nunes, RTP Portugal. Maybe you wouldn't like to make like rankings among the teams, but to ask you very clearly, do you put England among your favourites to win this World Cup?
How many favourites are there?
I don't know, that's what I want to know. In your opinion, of course.
No, we're not the top favourites. We can't be, because we haven't won it for so many years. So there are like proven winners in the tournament with more success in recent tournaments. So these are the favourites, and we compete for the trophy. we dream big, and we know what it takes. If you dream big, comes with responsibility. Responsibility is on the effort. So this is where the focus is, and we want to compete. We see ourselves as competitors, as challengers, and we want to go all the way, but I don't think that we are the heavy favorites.
Considering favourites and talking about Portugal,
very interesting from Thomas Tuchel. We dream big, says Thomas Tuchel. You see them as, I think they're considered as heavy favourites, though. Interesting. Faith Carruthers, our England correspondent in Cannes, will be speaking one-to-one with Thomas Tuchel this evening. We will hear that. We'll get more from Brad Friedel shortly. And just to let you know, England lead Ukraine 1-0 at Everton. Jess Carter with a goal. With Spain at 1-0 up in Iceland as well. Barcelona's Victor Lopez has scored that. More to come on TalkSport.
To celebrate a monster month of football, you can be a massive winner with Arnold Clark's June Upgrade event. Get in! All this month, get 2 years free servicing when you buy a used car, with 4 of the Arnold Clark customers also winning back the cost of their car. What a result! And if that wasn't enough, we're giving away £1,000 to 5 lucky TalkSport listeners who register at talksport.com/win. It's world-class June Upgrade winning all this month with Arnold Clark. See talksport.com/win for terms and conditions. Get red-hot deals on heavy machinery in the next Ritchie Brothers UK and Ireland auction on the 24th and 25th of June. We've got a huge selection of quality used machinery, from diggers to dozers, tractors to telehandlers, and much more, with fresh inventory rolling in every day. Your business will be set for summer and beyond with quality kit at incredible prices. Join us for the UK and Ireland auction on the 24th and 25th of June. Register today at albiauction.co.uk.
Mr. Q, we tell it how it is. When players win, they love Q. Like a Portuguese prima donna loves polishing the sculpture of themselves. But when players lose, they hate Q, like a last-minute VAR controversy. Mr. Q, the casino you love to hate. And you'll love 100 free spins on Big Bass Splash with your first deposit. Play at mrq.com or on the app. UK 18 plus residents only. Minimum £10 first deposit. 10p plus one. Free spins must be used with 48 hours of deposit. If all winnings paid in cash, T's and C's apply. Play safely.
With problem earwax, things don't feel quite right. The NHS recommends using olive oil to help relieve build-up. So Otex offers medical-grade olive oil in both drops and spray. And if you need to act faster, there's Otex Express. However you choose to treat it, choose the earwax treatment brand most recommended by pharmacists. And be clear to hear with Otex. Based on a survey of 200 pharmacists. For verification, visit otexear.com.
Horsby and Jacobs every weekday afternoon from 1 on TalkSport with Toolstation. First off, Toolstation, drilling down on the big sporting stories of the day and delivering a cutting-edge catalogue of big-name guests, including all the latest news, some outrageous views, and a trailer-loaded laughs. Don't miss the nation's favourite sporting lunch with the legendary Horsby and Jacobs. Weekday afternoons from 1 on TalkSport with Toolstation. First off, Toolstation.
I'm Matt Ford, and I want to tell you about your new favourite podcast, How to Win the World Cup. I'm asking the icons who've been there and done it. We're talking David Seaman, Emmanuel Petit, and many more. I've also brought along Alex Crocker, most of the Kids Panini stickers from Victory Trophy. How to Win the World Cup for TalkSport. Listen now, wherever you get your podcasts, and on the TalkSport YouTube channel.
TalkSport taking you to Orlando, Florida. This is where kickoff comes from, live from Tom's Watch Bar. The Lionesses are missing chances at Everton. Is TalkSport's Matt Jones.
Yeah, it's England 1, Ukraine 0 with 23 minutes gone, but to be honest, it could be 5-0. They've been so dominant. The keeper's made some fine saves, but England making the breakthrough on 14 minutes. Lauren James, who's been the orchestrator of pretty much every attack, floated a lovely cross to the back post. Carter sent it back past the goalkeeper, who was completely wrong-footed. Other than that, Russo's had a header saved. She's also seen another drop just wide. Hempers had a pile driver from distance, pushed around the post. And Letitia probably should have made it too just a couple of moments ago with a hook shot that went the wrong side of the post from close range. So England winning here. The bad news is that Spain are also winning in that game against Iceland. And if the scores stay the same, England will be consigned to a playoff for the World Cup. Spain will take top spot in League A Group 3. At the moment, it's England 1, Ukraine 0.
Spain 0 in Iceland, as Matt was saying. then. Let's bring back Brad Friedel, former American international. And Brad, I just want to get your reaction to what Thomas Tuchel just said. He said England dream big, but we are not heavy favourites. What's your reaction to that?
I think he knows that they're one of the favourites. I think he's trying to take pressure from the media and the fans off of the team. I think he knows he has a goalkeeper in form. Very good back four, some a fantastic midfield, and the world's best striker right now. So I think he knows that they're in with a chance. It's not going to be an easy road if you look at their brackets. Having to get, I think, memory serves me correct, Adrian, they've got to go to possibly Mexico City and play at altitude. That could also be against Mexico, and then after that they would have to go to the heat and humidity in Miami if that's how their bracket run goes. So it wouldn't be easy, but I think he knows they have a very good chance of winning this.
Yeah, they do. Well, we hope they do anyway. I must ask you about Scotland, who you're watching, Haiti against Scotland, and in particular about Andy Robertson, who Spurs have signed him. So one of your old clubs, Spurs, has signed Andy Robertson from another of your old clubs, Liverpool. They're making good signings, Spurs. It feels like they could be on the brink of a recovery from the last couple of seasons.
I would agree with you, and I think what I like most about the Robertson signing, take away the obvious that he's a very, very good footballer, is his character. For the last couple of seasons, Tottenham has lost a lot of leadership off the field, and in the changing room you saw it with a lot of petulant moments on the field, and I agree with you. The signings are looking very good. De Zerbi got them over the line, and he's now able to stamp his real philosophy on the team through a pre-season. But Robertson's an infectious character, really positive, really bubbly, but he'll also let people, have it when they're not at it. And on top of that, he's come from a very successful club as of recent years, and Tottenham badly needed somebody like him coming through the door.
Right, can I just pick your brains from a goalkeeping point of view? We were speaking earlier about the three England goalkeepers here, Pickford, Trafford and Henderson, just being diverse characters. Have you found when you were playing as well to have the support, if you're number one, the support of the others around you? Do you need diverse characters or just a group that get on well together?
You just need to have respect, Stuart, from the others. You just need people that the number two and the number three not to ruin training, not to spoil it. I was also number two with the national team at times, and I hated it. But you have to rise above that, because the country and playing for your country is much more important than your personal individual feelings. So as long as there's a respect factor there, and if there's any help you can give to the number one if he needs it, that's most important. You don't have to be all friendly and all cuddly with one another. I mean, that can help, of course, but as long as you're not a deterrent, you can battle for your position during the World Cup as well, and make sure you're in peak physical and mental condition in case you get called on or if there's an unfortunate injury. But respect is the biggest thing.
If Pickford did pick up an injury en route, which out of Trafford and Henderson would you put in?
Oh, there's a question. I would possibly Henderson, just with a touch more experience. Well, they're both very good goalkeepers, but that would just be, you're putting me on the spot here a little bit, Stu. So I would probably
more than welcome.
I'd probably lean a little bit towards Henderson, but they're both good. You're not dropping off massively from Pickford either. All three are very competent goalkeepers.
Brian, when you look at Jordan Pickford, how do you regard him in terms of goalkeepers that England have had in the past? We talked about the goal that he led in against France in the World Cup, because he's not the tallest. Maybe other goalkeepers would have saved that. But where do you place Pickford in relation to the other England goalkeepers that you've seen over the last 34 years?
So here's going to be my honest assessment. I was never really fully bought into Pickford, probably 4 or 5, as near as 4 or 5 seasons ago. And he's won me over recently, and he's also been in really struggling Everton sides that have been incredibly close to the drop. He he's made enormous saves at really crucial times of Everton's seasons. And when he plays now with England, he looks like a leader. I think he's one of the more informed goalkeepers coming into this tournament. He's definitely won me over for sure. So I think Jordan Pickford could come out of even this tournament being regarded globally as one of the best, because it's very rare do I hear people put him in the top 5 or top 7 when you're asked about this. And I think this could be a real big part of his career where people will acknowledge how good he actually is.
That's really interesting. A quick final thought on another of your old clubs, Liverpool. Ariola's gone in there, and certainly one of the panel here in Orlando believes that Liverpool could be challenging and may even win the Premier League title next season, Jim. But I just want to know what you think about Ariola going in there.
Well, there's two things. I have no problem with Ariola going in there at all, because I'm as a Liverpool fan. And I think he's an excellent coach, and I'll back him, and I think he can do well. I was against getting rid of Slot because I'm just not one of the people that likes to see all this change and chaos created. And I think it started with last season's summer in the transfer window. I think it was really tumultuous. I think losing Trent, and there was Salah drama, there was the Isak drama, and it was just really difficult. And perhaps in hindsight, Arne Slot picked the fight with the wrong guy at the wrong time at the club, and things didn't transpire well. But now that's done, that's all said. Iraola is a brilliant appointment. He really is, and I think he can play. He can get Liverpool playing some really attractive football, and he knows the Premier League. He also will know European football. So I think once the vacancy was open, that was a very, very good hire. And I, again, as a Liverpool fan, not just a pundit, I'm happy with the appointment.
Brad, great to talk to you. Thank you very much for joining us.
Have a good World Cup, Brad.
All the best. Thanks to you guys too. Enjoy Florida.
We are doing, don't worry. Brad Friedel is a big part of our coverage of the World Cup on TalkSport this summer. Also involved Emmanuel Petit, David Moyes, Fabian Herzler, Stuart Pearce, of course, with England. White and Jordan out here live from New York this Thursday. White and Jordan, so don't miss that. They've swapped slots with Hawksby and Jacobs in case you get yourself confused. But we've already heard from Thomas Tuchel. We'll hear more from Thomas Tuchel very shortly. And we'll hear from the England centre-half Mark Gahey as well. This is TalkSport.
Jim White and Simon Jordan on TalkSport. Mid-morning radio that's up for the job. Hot under the collar with it. Concrete sports talk. Edge that one stuff. Rapid setting opinion. I still think there's a lot of questions that need to be answered. Oh no, come on. Big names, all backed up. David Moyes, John Hart, Ian Rush. Jim White and Simon Jordan. Delivered tomorrow morning from 10 on TalkSport by Selco Builders Warehouse. Check out this month's real deals at selcob2me.com.
Get iPhone 17 in the Vodafone Business Summer Sale. iPhone 17 is built for business with all-day battery life and the powerful A19 chip for fast, efficient performance. Experience it all on the best network for business and save £300. Hurry, offer ends the 22nd of July. Vodafone Business.
Businesses with up to 9 employees only, based on iPhone 17 and 24-month unlimited airtime plan. Best network is awarded at the Mobile Industry Awards. Saving calculated over 36 months.
Welcome to the Coral Fan Zone, where the fans are playing the free Coral Rewards Shaker. Brazilian shaking with trademark flair. Shakeio. The Americans shaking for supersized rewards. Tasty. And the English managing to shake under the weight of expectation. Looks like a free bet's coming home. Get a guaranteed free bet or offer every day this World Cup with Coral's Reward Shaker. Coral, we're here for it. 18 plus UK. That's one reward or offer per plan per day. Available from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Restrictions and T's and C's apply. Gamble.org. You've done the business. Bathroom plumbed. Kitchen plastered. Now, let Nissan's van range do the rest. With award-winning Town Stars Carlight Comfort. 3 stars large cargo space and easy loading. Or new award-winning Interstars wide range of conversions. All with a 5-year warranty. Search Nissan vans or visit your local Nissan Business Centre. You do the business, Nissan do the vans. Warranty terms apply. 5 years or 100,000 miles, whichever comes first. Visit Nissan.co.uk.
virtually, as well as no monthly account fee, because whatever your small business looks like, we're proud to support you. Search HSBC Small Business Banking Account to get started. Subject to eligibility, credit checks and TCCs. Visit business.hsbc.co.uk for details.
FIFA World Cup 2026. Get loud on TalkSport and TalkSport 2. Here we go. Through FIFA World Cup 2026 for TalkSport and TalkSport 2. Pump up your summer. Kick off. Get ready to get the ultimate football fan winning feeling with TalkSport Win.
So listen up, the FIFA World Cup kicks off Thursday. TalkSport are sending you and a mate straight to New York to see England live with Adidas, the tournament's official match ball supplier. We're talking a trip to watch England face Panama, return flights, hotel, match tickets, spending money, all taken care of, plus Adidas throwing in the official try on the match ball and a fresh pair of boots as well. Ready to get that winning feeling? Here's how to enter. For your chance to win, head to talksportwin.com or text WIN to 83338. Texts and online entries cost £2.50 plus your standard network rate, or call 0343 418 7260. Entries must be in by 4 p.m. this Friday. That's when you'll need to answer your phone if it rings. 18 plus, UK residents only. This is a TalkSport promotion. Full T's and C's at talksportwin.com. So for your chance to win, text WIN to 83338 now. Let's head back to Everton. Another goal for TalkSport's Matt Jones.
And it has been coming. England 2, Ukraine 0. It's Georgia Stanway who's got it. It's tapping at the back post, but she does really well to get there. Some good build-up play by England down the left-hand side. The ball eventually comes into her from Russo from the left. And diving in there at the back post, just about able to get a toe on it. And poke home is Stanway to double England's lead. England 2, Ukraine 0.
And to let you know that Spain still lead 1-0 in Iceland in a key game that affects the Lionesses in that World Cup qualifying group. As it stands, England will have to go through a playoff in the autumn to qualify for the World Cup in Brazil next summer. Right, let's hear from Mark Gahey. He's been speaking one-to-one with our own England correspondent, Faith Roberts.
Mark, it's great to see you, as always. Costa Rica, final game before the World Cup kicks off. What are your thoughts going into this one?
Everyone's been training well. I think everyone's obviously still at different stages, but getting closer to where we want to be as a squad. And yeah, it's important that we try and up the performance, up the intensity in this game, since it's going to be the last one just before the start. But everyone's in a good place.
Good to hear. What's the difference between Mark Gahey wanting to get into the England squad in 2022 versus the one that's in it now?
Well, say a lot more games under my belt, a lot more moments in which I can look back on and I'd say take moments from and hopefully bring a little bit of experience into the squad. So I'd say two completely different marks, but still the same hunger and desire to do well.
How has it been having the Arsenal players back? So the group is complete now, if you like, and obviously you're good friends with Ed. So what have you said to him? You obviously had the joy of the Premier League win and then the heartbreak of the Champions League defeat.
Yeah, I'd say it's good to have everyone in the squad now. Makes everything feel whole now, which is nice. And with Ed, I just congratulate on the Premier League. Absolutely unbelievable achievement, especially going there first season and doing that. The whole Champions League, I didn't watch the game, so there's no comment from me there, to be honest, but just spoke about the highs, which is also important.
Yeah, highs are always important, versus the lows, for sure. I want to talk to you about some of those highs. The past 6 months under Pep Guardiola and what that's been like for you. What's it done to your game, and how can that benefit England?
Yeah, but Pep has been unreal. I would have loved a few more years with him, but I'll take what I can get, to be honest. He's definitely changed my game. I've said it many times. The thought process behind certain things have gone up a level, and yeah, hopefully I can bring some of that into the squad, help those around me, but just ultimately try and be the best that I can for my teammates.
Yeah, I read some of your comments in an article at the Times about how you change as a defender and how your thought process, and actually it's more of a mental game than a technical game, and it was fascinating. I wonder what the differences are between what Pep Guardiola brings to your game versus what Thomas Tuchel brings to your game.
It's actually not that different, to be honest. They're both in a way saying the same things, similar messages. I'd say it's just done in a different way, whereas I'd say Thomas has come from a place of, like German football. It's very, let's say, rock and roll. It's fast, it's aggressive, it's really go for it as quick as possible. But still the same messages, whereas Pep is coming from a place of maybe slower build up, but still with the same outcome, still with the same effect. So yeah, both have been instrumental, and both have been fantastic.
What do you think? Because obviously this is the longest amount of time you'll get coaching with Thomas, and as you said, you didn't get long enough, you felt, with Pep. So what can you learn within the tournament that Thomas brings that's maybe a bit different?
I mean, we're learning quite a bit now, to be fair. We've had a lot of time to work on many things, and the things that he wants us to focus going into this tournament and the way we want to play. So yeah, I feel like we're already learning quite a bit, and hopefully we can take those messages into the rest of the tournament.
I think it's widely thought that you're a guaranteed starter. I know you probably differ with me when I say that. I know how humble you are. But the question is maybe who partners you. What different qualities do John Stones and Ezri Konsa have that complement you and your skill set?
Yeah, I'd say they're still both fantastic players. It's hard to say because they're both coming from a school of managers that like to play on the ball, and they're both amazing ball playing centre halves, but both have unbelievable awareness defensively and show their qualities each and every game as leaders in their own different ways. So yeah, they possess different things, but I think overall fantastic quality.
Obviously you know John a bit more for your time at Manchester City, and he's not played much this season, but Thomas has confirmed that that's not for fitness reasons. How difficult is that for him, and does that change your game and your dynamic? Obviously you played together the other night.
Yeah, I think John's a fantastic professional and will always be in the best shape possible for whatever game or whatever competition. It was nice to actually play with him. It's been a long time, and we're both looking forward to it. We didn't get the opportunity at City, which was a shame, but to be fair, it doesn't really matter. Whoever plays, the most important is just to do the best for the team and try and make England fans proud.
Brilliant. Last quick question for you, and it's just on the weather conditions and how we may be getting thunderstorms in Orlando. But what kind of prep have you done for that if you are having to be taken off? What goes through players' minds in that circumstance?
Yeah, I think to be fair, we've kind of been prepped already. There was one training session that got delayed because of thunderstorms out here, so it was literally just go back inside, try and stay ready for when it does pass. So yeah, we've had the possible preparation for that, so I think that's going to help us if that does happen at some point in the tournament. So yeah, all good.
Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
There you go, Mark Gahey with TalkSport England correspondent, Baker, others, and we'll talk more about the partnerships of Gahey with Konsa, or Gahey with John Stones in just a second. But Stuart, good word there obviously about how he would have wanted a few more seasons with Pep. Is that the boy that he genuinely didn't know when he signed in January that Pep was going to be leaving this summer?
There's no chance that he knew. I don't think the way he spoke just then. Who wouldn't want more years working with Pep? One of the top managers the world of football's ever seen. So he's delighted that he's made the move. I think for his career as well, it advanced his career. I think we've seen some of the shoots of that as well at this early stage. But listen, he's a top player.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And very interesting what he had to say with regards when they asked him that tricky question about Konsa's qualities and Stones' qualities. We'll get into that very shortly on TalkSport. England's winning a 2-0 up against Ukraine at Everton. in the World Cup qualifier, but Spain are also 2-0 away to Iceland. They lead 2-0. Both those games heading up towards half-time. It's still talk live in Orlando at the World Cup.
Mo Farah races past the staff room and hands Jack his multi-pack of sockets.
Fast. Get your Screwfix order in as little as 1 minute with Click and Collect. Order on the app today. Screwfix, no stopping you.
Get red hot deals on heavy machinery in the next Ritchie Brothers UK and Ireland auction on the 24th and 25th of June. We've got a huge selection of quality used machinery, from diggers to dozers, tractors to telehandlers, and much more, with fresh inventory rolling in every day. Your business will be set for summer and beyond with quality kits at incredible prices. Join us for the UK and Ireland auction on the 24th and 25th of June. Register today at rvauction.co.uk.
At the Such Store, the time from BT will be 11 o'clock.
Today, BT will protect UK businesses and homes from 4 million cyber threats, so UK businesses can send 11 million order updates, or 34 million lattes, and come off mute 200 million times without disruption.
At the Such Store, the time from BT will be brilliant.
BT Business, protecting more businesses than any other network. Point topic data to Q4 2025. To verify, see bt.com/games. Hard to ignore, isn't it? BYDs are everywhere. Join over 4 million drivers who chose BYD last year at our BYD Summer Sales event. Get up to £1,000 deposit contribution plus 0% APR on selected models on orders placed on the 18th to the 21st of June. Book your test drive at byd.com/UK or visit your local BYD retailer. Cities apply. Private registrations purchased during the event are registered by 30th of September.
Cape Verde? Is that even a country? Relegate the office to each day and get your crew under the bomb for the big tournament. Set the stakes and predict the scores. Most points wins the pot. It's as easy as half-time pie. Download the app now and play from £2. You versus your mates the whole summer long. Let the madness begin. Le Bon. LEBON. Winning subject to 10% transaction fee. 18 plus. Gamble aware.
Good call. Absolute building this morning. Oh, bad call. It was shocking. You won't want to miss the Costa Call on TalkSport, sponsored by Costa Express. Listen to the early sports breakfast tomorrow morning from 5 and get all the biggest talking points ahead of another quality match day. I just want to know 2 quick points if I can. In one agenda-setting fan phone-in. You've got a mum, but we shouldn't be in a chance call anyway. Costa Call on TalkSport, sponsored by Costa Express. Real beans, real milk, real signature taste.
Wednesday night, International Film Day on TalkSport.
It's a precursor to a standout summer of World Cup football. You can test drive with our Florida Keys. England versus Costa Rica. Live from Orlando. Kick-off 9 p.m. Wednesday night, International Film Day on TalkSport.
TalkSport live in Florida ahead of the World Cup. England's men play their final warm-up game. Well, actually, we just found out it's not the final warm-up game. They play Costa Rica here tomorrow. We'll have that live on TalkSport. England's women doing their part of the job at Everton. Half-time for TalkSport's Matt Jones.
They are indeed England 2, Ukraine 0 in this final World Cup qualifier. It's been a completely dominant display from England so far. They took the lead after 14 minutes. It was Jess Carter who got the goal, heading home at the back post from a floated Lauren James cross, and then they made it 2 on 37. Stanboy this time converting, prodding home at the back post from a Russo low ball. Other than that, there's been a string of fine chances and saves. Head probably having the best of them as that was pushed around the post, and Russo should probably have scored from close range with an effort that went wide, as should Letitia. So Serena Wiegmann was pretty happy with how her side are playing, but she probably, inevitably, is not too pleased with what's going on in Iceland. It's Iceland 0, Spain 3 in that other qualifier in this group, and that means Spain will finish top of the group if scores stay the same, meaning England will have to go into a playoff in the autumn. At the break here at Hill Dickinson Stadium, it's England 2, Ukraine 0.
Let's react more to what Mark Gahey was saying. Stuart Pearson, he was talking about concert and Stones and partnership he'll have. I think we're safe to say Faith's right. He is the number 1 centre-back. He is going to be starting for England, Mark Gahey. And I think, listen, he's going to say the right thing. He's going to be comfortable playing with either of them, but both ball playing centre-halves. He said both are leaders in their own way. But he did say they have different qualities. So what qualities do you read into both players?
Well, John Stones I probably look at and say he's probably a little bit cleaner on the ball than Konsa, maybe, you know, and I'll be maybe doing him a slight disservice there potentially. Konsa, I find him more of a looser defender, if you like, a slightly more aggressive defender. I think John Stones is happy to nick it off your toes type, you know. But listen, I think there's two players there. John Stones, yeah, as I say, John is probably the silkier of the two. Is probably the best way to describe the pair of them, if possible.
And of course, it's fair. I mean, this is what Jim's been saying all along, that he felt John Stones would be picked because of the experience he's got. Now, maybe that's the big thing, Jim, between the two of them, that tournament England experience for John Stones will count in his favour.
Well, it'll be his 89th cap tomorrow, but he's played in all of England's last 26 matches at major tournaments. That's just experience that you can't buy. He's got the experience of Jordan Pickford behind him in all of those games as well. It's all about relationships on the field. But 26 tournament games in a row is an epic achievement, and that has to count against Ezri Konsa, really, who has started one, I think it is, when he deputised during the Euro. So when he came in, England changed the shape. So I think that Stones will be the first choice. It's going to be interesting to see how things get managed, though, because Thomas Tuchel was talking in his press conference about the fact that there is this additional behind closed doors friendly, which we understand is going to be against Miami. So I would guess that the game against Miami, the starting 11, certainly for the first hour of that or so, will be the starting 11 against Croatia. So what does he do in terms of the 11 that he's going to play against Costa Rica tomorrow? Is it a team that replicates that, or is it going to be the complete opposite of it, or is it going to be a mix and match team again? I don't know how he would approach it.
No, I don't think any of us do. He had those plans in his mind. It sort of took me by surprise a little bit that he was going to take another game straight away. Makes sense. You don't want one too near the start in case you do get those little niggles that take 4 or 5 days to resolve themselves. So you don't want to be playing probably Saturday, Sunday. If you're going to wheel the same players out again, you couldn't after Wednesday play them Thursday, Friday, potentially, you know, not if they're playing 75 minutes plus. So that'd be interesting. Can I just go to the point? I made notes about what Thomas Tuchel said when he was talking about John Stones. Fluid positionally. Now, you might see him in that respect a bit more than Konsa. You probably wouldn't say Konsa is fluidly positioned. He can go into midfield, can do this, can do that. He's more of a naturalised central defender, or right back, if you like. So that might just get John Stones a nod if he wants to do something tactically, Jim.
Particularly in matches where you're playing against teams where you're going to dominate possession in the group stages, and you need somebody to come and try and break the lines and provide an extra body in midfield and numerical overload there. That would make a lot of sense, but as we've said all along, I think with Stones, he's got to be managed so carefully in terms of the physical load, bearing in mind that he's 183 minutes of Premier League football since the end of August. That you're going to need both of them realistically over the course of the tournament, and it may well be that if England can manoeuvre themselves into positions where they've won games early on, if they had a decent lead after an hour in a game, John's the first man off and they'll bring Konsa on, and they're just trying to manage his load that way.
I would be interested to know, just from my knowledge point of view really, about how he's going to manage this game on the Thursday against Miami, whether he's going to condense it to sort of 3:30 minutes or make it a tactical game and use it as a tactical training session as much as 2:45 minutes. I would have thought they'd break it down. I'm intrigued. It'd be interesting to see whether they will get an insight going forward on that one.
We'll get a steer from Faye as and when she's finished with the England camp for this evening. In terms of, listen, from the outside, when John Stones was picked for the squad, a lot of people were surprised, myself included, and a lot of people criticised the decision, saying we've got Maguire there who's been playing, you picked John Stones who isn't playing. Stuart, is this a great example of a manager who really knows what he wants for his starting 11, and John Stones was what he wanted because of that fluid position that you're talking about, the fact that he's so elegant on the ball, and he's got that tournament experience as well with England. Is this an example of a manager really knowing who he wanted and sticking by him and maybe taking a risk by bringing him to this World Cup? And actually, in his mind, Thomas Tuchel, he thinks he knows what England need to go on and win this World Cup. And that's John Stones starting games at the back, going into midfield, doing what he does on the ball, and maybe lasting every game for 60 to 70 minutes, constantly coming on and finishing the job off. Once England have got into a position where they're winning the game, that's the theory. We hope it's borne out in practice. And maybe if there's a dead end of group game like the Panama game, then Concert plays in that one. But is it we should be more confident in Thomas Tuchel because he knows in his mind exactly what he wants and he's confident enough to do it despite criticism?
Yeah, I mean, listen, he's shown over this last year that he's prepared to make toughish decisions and not the popularist decisions that everyone ticks along and say, oh, well done, you know, and shoehorning some of the big players in. His squad selection testament for that, because you've got Foden at home, you've got Palmer at home, you've got Maguire at home, maybe even Luke Shaw might be thrown into that mix as well, you know, whose name was muted about. So he's prepared to do those things. And also as well, he's got the comfort blanket of a 26-man squad as well, you know, which enables you to pick one or two players outside that you think, I'm prepared to take a punt on John Stones, or might be even Reece James, who's lightly raced, if you like.
I find it absolutely fascinating. One other element from what Thomas Tuchel said, and it was kind of reflected in what Mark Gahey said. Gahey was talking about how the difference between Pep and Tuchel's much faster pace, come from the German league, etc. And Thomas Tuchel has been promising this intensity of play. He mentioned it again tonight in the press conference, ball speed, we're ready for it, etc. So we're expecting to see a high-tempo England at this World Cup. That's what Thomas Tuchel is saying, it's what Mark Gahey is saying as well. So if they don't deliver that, then people will have a right to criticise them.
Yeah, I think when you're talking about playing at that tempo in this climate, it doesn't go hand in hand. It doesn't mean you can't do it for shorter bursts though. So what you're saying is don't get into the habit of slow, too slow. It might be you might have to play in a slow rhythm to really explode and have real impact at times, and then slowly going back down again.
And it'd be interesting to see whether we see any insight of that in the game against Costa Rica tomorrow, or whether it is going to be played at a similar kind of tempo to that against New Zealand, whether we do get a 5-minute burst here and there of proper intense big-gear football.
Yeah, that's tomorrow. It's live on TalkSport. England against Costa Rica here in Orlando, Florida. And don't forget, there's more boxing this weekend with a DAZN Saturday Fight Night doubleheader live from Manchester. Watch Beauty versus the Beast, where Eddie Hall faces Tommy Fury in a heavyweight showdown featuring a remarkable 100-pound weight difference. Then later in the evening, watch pound-for-pound star Jesse Bam Rodriguez returns in Arizona, aiming to make history by becoming a 3-weight world champion. Join DAZN Ultimate and get 12 plus pay-per-views a year, including Fury versus Hall this weekend at no extra cost.
Boxing updates on TalkSport with DAZN, the global home of boxing. Sign up now at dazn.com/boxing.
Hope you'll join us here at Royal Ascot, where the fans are out in force. As always, the top hat and tailors are here, looking the part, even if their bets are a shot in the dark. All steady. There's the parade ringers, casting their eyes over what any of the tipsters say. And out in front, it's the showstoppers. Their outfits have been planned way more than their bet slips.
Whatever kind of racing fan you are, don't miss the Coral Daily Download every morning from 6 on TalkSport with Coral. We're here for rewarding the fans this Royal Ascot. 18 plus, gambleware.org. The Arnold Car Cup Grid event is on now. Get 2 years free servicing on used cars, or get a home charger for £549 when you buy a fully electric used car. Upgrade and save today at arnoldclark.com.
Get iPhone 17 in the Vodafone Business Summer Sale. iPhone 17 is built for business with all-day battery life and the powerful A19 chip for fast, efficient performance. Experience it all on the best network for business and save £300. Hurry, offer ends the 22nd of July. Vodafone Business.
Businesses with up to 9 employees only, based on iPhone 17 and 24-month unlimited airtime plan. Best network is awarded at the Mobile Industry Awards, saving calculated over 36 months.
Air conditioning and refrigeration contractors. This is one way to keep things cool this summer. The other, get over to Climate Centre. With specialist cooling branches across the UK, we've got everything you need. Top brands, spares in stock, plus expert support when the pressure's on. Keeping jobs moving, keeping customers cool, all summer long. Find your nearest branch at climatecentre.co.uk. Climate Centre, a warranty business.
At Leyland, we've been perfecting our paint since 1922, so you traders can get a flawless job with minimal faff. Enough said, really, which leaves about 20 seconds to talk about something else. Black footy jargon. The classic is the game of two halves. How about he gave 110%? Can't forget, they just wanted it more. And of course, at the end of the day, best keep it simple. Nothing wrong with saying got the job done. Anyway, the point is, Leyland Shade Paint. Enough said.
I used to harvest you, and you could win back the cost. There's a winner every week. Shop now at arnoldclark.com. It's a transatlantic football summer of goals, gas, grass, and true grit. Football in America. The 2026 FIFA World Cup starts this Thursday on TalkSport and TalkSport 2. Talk Sport.
Good evening with your sports headlines. I'm Hugo Chambray. Thomas Tuchel says everyone is fit and available for England's final World Cup warm-up game against Costa Rica tomorrow. Arsenal's Champions League finalists have now joined the squad, and according to the manager, no one needs a break. Despite a positive camp so far, Tuchel says England can't be seen as favourites to win the tournament.
We can't be because we haven't won it for so many years. So they are like proven winners in the tournament with more success. These are the favourites, and we compete for the trophy. We dream big.
We'll have live commentary of England-Costa Rica right here on TalkSport tomorrow evening. Elsewhere, the Lionesses are 2-0 up against Ukraine in their final World Cup qualifier, but they'll likely need to go through the playoffs for a place at the tournament as Spain are beating Iceland comfortably. Scotland and Wales have finished top of their qualifying groups, which should give them an easier route in the playoffs. England captain Ben Stokes is considering his future after breaching ECB protocols. Stokes and Gus Atkinson are being investigated following an incident at a nightclub in the early hours of Monday morning. Former England cricketer Mark Ramprakash says an example should be made of Stokes.
When you're on the national duty representing the country, I don't get why you have to do these types of things. Brendan McCullum was quoted as saying he was going to get a firm grip on the culture.
And Serena Williams has won in the first round of the doubles at Queen's on her return to professional tennis. There's more on our website at talksport.com.
TalkSport News.
A 30-year-old man has been charged with attempted murder over last night's Belfast attack, and David Sullivan has been banned from attending youth and women's matches at West Ham since 2023 because of safeguarding concerns.
TalkSport weather with QuickFit. Keep spring journeys safe. Visit your local centre or quickfit.com to book your tyres, MOTs and servicing so you can drive away happy every time.
Showers easing this evening ahead of a rather chilly night. Blustery rain tomorrow.
It's alternative 1053 on your mobile and your smart TV.
A quite fabulous goal! A positive analysis from the Vanguard football news. Take off. Adrian Durham, Stuart Pearce, and Jim Ralston. Live from Orlando. TalkSport.
TalkSport live in Orlando, Florida, ahead of a game that's here tomorrow in Orlando. England take on Costa Rica in a World Cup warm-up, and as we just found out, they've got another game next week behind closed doors against, we believe, Miami FC. Who's Stuart Pearce? They've got a player who spell in the youth team at Wealdstone, your old club.
We certainly would have had a good education in football then, there is no doubt about it. He's come through the Stones Academy.
Arthur Rogers, I'm not sure if he'll play or not, but we'll see. But yeah, that's could be a big test. In terms of a big test, I don't think it will be, but in terms of preparation for the World Cup, I think it will be, because it's a couple of days before England kick off against Croatia, and of course TalkSport will be there. All 104 games will be live and official on the TalkSport network. More coverage of World Cup 2026 than anyone else, and the best analysis as well. And on England duty will be Stuart Pearce, former England captain, giving all his analysis. And in terms of Thomas Tuchel and what he had to say, from what we heard in the press conference, we'll be hearing more from him very shortly. There was a promise of high intensity. He also spoke about Declan Rice being the vice captain, and it seems like a natural choice.
100% it does. You know, he's in it. I think it's the next evolution for Dec to be a permanent captain. I'm quite surprised he's not Arsenal captain at this moment in time. I really am.
Let's head to the England camp. Faye Carruthers has been speaking with Mark Gahey. We heard that. We'll hear her interview with Thomas Tuchel very shortly as well. Faye, everybody seemed very positive, and we now know there's a couple of games to go before England's World Cup campaign kicks off.
Yeah, they'll play Miami FC, as you said, the day after the Costa Rica game, so more practice, more minutes in the legs, which is how Thomas Tuchel has been describing it for the players. He's also confirmed to me that they're going to play about 60-70 minutes each against Costa Rica, or certainly the starters will, obviously. So preparations ramping up. He's talked about it being the next step for the players as they build into this tournament. Then they'll have a couple of days off with their families, who've been, many of whom have been here in West Palm Beach, so they've been able to see them in the afternoons and spend the evenings with them as well, before getting back to work. And then the real work begins when they move to Kansas around about the 12th, 13th of June, ahead of that big game against Croatia, kicking things off.
And of course the debate about Bellingham or Rodgers has now turned to a debate about, is it going to be Stones or Conte alongside Mark Gahey? You asked Mark Gahey a question about both of those potential partners for him. What are you reading into it? What do you think will happen come that game against Croatia?
I'm not sure. I mean, it's difficult because Thomas Tuchel loves John Stones, really appreciates him as a player, leadership qualities, etc. But he hasn't played that much football. Although Thomas Tuchel did confirm that, you know, he may not have played many minutes, but he's been fit enough to play. And it was quite funny watching Mark's reaction when I mentioned John. His face lit up when he talked about playing with him for the first time. He was really looking forward to it because he didn't get the opportunity to do that at Manchester City. Obviously, we know the qualities that Ezri Konsa has as well, and arguably you could look at the season that he's had, and it's been more successful than John's has been. But you know, the experience that John Stones has and has had with England in particular and Manchester City previously is not to be ignored, and is really important going into a major final. So I don't know. I think it's going to depend on training. It's going to depend on what combinations they have. But I think it's great options, because how many times have we come into a major tournament with England thinking that there is only one solid centre-back partnership, and now we've got two.
Yeah, it is. Thomas Tuchel as well, we've highlighted from the press conference that he's been talking about how, you know, he wants that high intensity. Mark Gahey mentioned it in the interview with you as well, how he comes from fast football in Germany, etc. So he's kind of sticking it out there, Thomas Tuchel. He's saying this is how we're going to play, this is what you can expect, and that's what the fans will be expecting England to deliver.
Yeah, I think Mark described it as rock and roll football, and I was thinking maybe he was thinking heavy metal and just getting the two genres mixed up, potentially. That did amuse me a little bit. But yeah, you know, all of these players are used to playing that kind of intensity, and he talked about John Stones and Ezri Konsa both having ball-playing managers, which, you know, when you look at the balance of Thomas Tuchel's squad and how he's assembled them, you know, they all play similar styles in many ways, but there is a balance to it, and I think that's really important. And yeah, they want to, and it's very difficult in this heat, by the way, because just before he came and sat down with me, Mark was asked about the temperatures out here, and he said the first day he really struggled. I think they've acclimatised now, the players, but you know, training in that heat, let alone playing full 90 minutes in that heat, is very, very different. So it's difficult to play that brand of football when the conditions are like this. But that was the whole point of this Florida series and these three, as we now know at games, that they're going to be doing before they face Croatia.
Faye, is there any hint as to the kind of team that will be played tomorrow? Are we going to be able to read into the starting 11 for the match tomorrow what the starting 11 might be against Croatia?
Well, funnily enough, Jim, I asked exactly that question to Thomas, so you'll hear his answer in full, but from memory, he pretty much said, which I knew that he would do, that it may do, and it may not. So, he just doesn't like to give his team away at all. He says there's no benefit to it whatsoever, and I understand his thinking in that. He also said you're not going to have the same starting 11 for the whole 8 games in the tournament, which, we know is also realistic. So, I think, yes, it could resemble it in some way, but there's still a lot of training sessions to have. They've still got a few days in Kansas before they head to Dallas and face Croatia, and a lot could happen in that time, so you can't really tell. You can say what it would be on paper, but there's a lot of things that can happen in that time. So, I understand when he says that, but also they have to be smart. Why give your opponents any advantage by playing exactly the same as you're likely to play against them?
Funny, I'm a little bit surprised that they put a training ground game in. Was that something that was planned before they arrived here, or has that just been picked up and thought, hang on, this could work quite well for us?
Yeah, I haven't asked enough questions about that yet, because I've literally just come straight out of the interviews and straight into this, and found out about it a little bit earlier, and as I say, it's just been so relentless, haven't found out exactly why, but it was reported it might be potential a few days ago, so I don't think that they've just decided ad hoc to do that. They have meticulously planned this entire 2 weeks, and then obviously meticulously planned going to Kansas, so I think it clearly makes sense from their point of view, and maybe they will do something slightly different. It's behind closed doors as well, so nobody can see anything, and that's smart in my opinion.
Yeah, we're getting Tom Director on the case right now, Freya. Listen, I know that you've asked Thomas Tuchel about the Arsenal players and their return, and we're going to hear your interview with him very shortly, but from what you've seen, because you attended a bit of training earlier and in and around those press conferences and interviews, I know that you see the players milling around, but are the Gooners okay? The Arsenal players okay?
Yeah, they look really well, actually, and I asked Mark Gahey about Ebbs, because obviously they're good friends from their days at Crystal Palace together, and he said he's in good spirits. He said he just congratulated him on the Premier League win, didn't mention the Champions League, and actually Thomas said he didn't feel as if any of the Arsenal players needed an arm around them when they came into camp after that disappointment of losing the Champions League final. So I think they're just excited to be in and around the camp, and certainly from what I saw in training this morning and from the footage that I've seen of them meeting up when they first reconnected with the players, they're all just really delighted to be there and be part of the camp again and raring to go.
Yeah, and I know there's a question that you always get asked in these interviews, the mood in the camp. Okay, so I'm not exactly going to answer it like that. But it feels like we said this before, we said it last night, that they all seem to get on very well. And Thomas Tuchel has said as well that he loves being around the players. It's when he's at his happiest as well. Do you sense, from different tournaments you've been to, do you sense something very different about this time of it?
Well, the thing is, previously I maybe thought it felt like a performance at times. So training sessions before, when we have like the 15-minute open training session, for example, and they play games and they're laughing and joking about, sometimes it felt as if it was being done for the cameras. It didn't feel as necessarily as natural, even though it may have been. But we were in a kind of different media era then, so that might have been part of it. Equally, I think these players all know each other so well, and they've been together for quite a while now, and this brotherhood that Thomas Tuchel has talked about building, you can certainly see it. It doesn't feel anything false about it. They've had opportunities to spend time with their families, as I mentioned, and many of them still coming back and spending time with each other at the same time, because they enjoy each other's company. They're all a pretty chilled and relaxed group of players, and you can really tell that when you see them in training. You can tell that when they come and speak to us in the media, and even just speaking to Mark then, you get the impression very much they're relaxed in each other's company, and they realise how important that is, and the relaxed camaraderie is the most important thing. It's not kind of forced. It's not, we all have to be together and we all have to look like we're getting on. I think they genuinely will get on, and you saw that when Elliot Anderson was talking about the fact that Harry Kane had arranged for Brooks Koepka to play a round of golf with them, you know, former world number one. And we're so close here. The PGA Boulevard is just down the road from West Palm Gardens, which is where they've been, Palm Beach Gardens even, where they've been training. You know, it's a massive golf area around here, and to get that opportunity, Elliot said, was fantastic. And John Stones, Jordan Pickford, Jason Steele all play golf together with Harry Kane. Elliot Anderson was part of that five as well, that got to go on around with a former world number one. You know, you can't buy that kind of stuff. It's incredible, and those kind of experiences, and the more experiences like that they have together, on the pitch and off the pitch, you know, the closer they'll be.
Yeah, hopefully. One final one, Faye. Thomas Tuchel in the press conference said that his quote was, "We dream big," but he also said we're not heavy favourites. When you look into his eyes when you're interviewing him one-on-one, when you see the whites of his eyes, do you see somebody there who has a full confidence and conviction that he can take this team to World Cup glory this summer in North America?
Yeah, absolutely I do. He's a winner. He believes in this group of players, and that's vital. You know, if they get any hint that he doesn't think that they can do it, or, you know, they'd be lucky to get to the final, he has full belief that they can get to the final. He's not stupid. He's been around the block, and he knows that they are going to have a little bit of luck on their side. They're going to have to hope that they keep injuries at bay. You know, there's all kind of different factors, as you know, that come into to winning a World Cup. You don't know how the draw is going to pan out, how other groups pan out, how your own group pans out. There's so many different differentials with it, that he's realistic in that way. But does he have full belief that this squad of players actually have the capability of getting to a final and potentially winning the World Cup for England? Yes, he absolutely does.
Brilliant, Faye. Thank you very much. Good work this evening. Speaking of Mark Gay, speaking of Thomas Tuchel, we'll hear Faye's interview with Thomas Tuchel very shortly, and then talking to us. And confident that Thomas Tuchel is confident that he can deliver. In the Women's World Cup qualifiers, England still 2-0 up at Everton. They're into the second half. Spain 4-1 up away to Iceland now, so England are going to have to go through the playoffs, it seems. We will hear from Thomas Tuchel next.
When you're growing a small business, whether you've built a team of 20 or you're a one-man band, you need someone who understands the ins and outs. With an HSBC Small Business Banking account, you'll have access to our business specialists, in person and virtually, as well as no monthly account fee, because whatever your small business looks like, we're proud to support you. Search HSBC Small Business Banking account to get started. Subject to eligibility, credit checks and T&Cs. Visit business.hsbc.co.uk for details.
Listen up, football fans. BetMGM brings Vegas entertainment to the biggest games and the biggest names. Because when it comes to betting on football, we're in a league of our own, baby. Offers? Oh, you know we got offers. Like bet £10 and get £40 in free bets. BetMGM. It's showtime.
New customers only. Wagering requirements and conditions apply. 18+. Please gamble responsibly.
Bosch Professional. Less talk, more action. They work on styling clothes. I work on site with the pros. They compose. Yo, I got God. Sorry, I'm in action. The perfect tools to action. Check out the latest tools and rewards with Bosch Pro Deals. Full details and T&Cs at bosch-professional.uk. Engineered for action.
Sally, what was that side called? That wise guy. No, what's a fugazi? No, Sally, the start of the prizes. That pies guy? No, Sally, got meat and potato, the cars, 250 grand cat. That thighs guy? What's that? Sally, to win cars, tech and cash for as little as 2p per entry, just search That Prize Guy online. It's easy really, the hardest part is remembering the name. Over 18 only, no purchase necessary, see website for details.
Imagine a place where you can escape for a day. Get immersed in a world of rules, inspiration and expertise, where you can lace in luxury accommodation. And kids can feast from 95 pence. Tickets are free to everyone and include all the attractions. You just imagine a day out at IKEA. IKEA, the wonderful everyday.
To celebrate a monster month of football, you can be a massive winner with Arnold Clark's June Upgrade event. All this month, get 2 years free servicing when you buy a used car, with 4 of the Arnold Clark customers all
TalkSport live in Orlando, England 2, Ukraine 0, Spain 4-1 up away to Iceland in the Women's World Cup qualifiers. The Men's World Cup, the tournament itself is just around the corner, and we've got it all live on TalkSport. We're here in Orlando because England take on Costa Rica in a warm-up game tomorrow. We'll have that live. Big 2-hour build-up to the game with us three, Stuart Pearce, Stuart Bradford and myself, ahead of the game tomorrow to look at the World Cup itself and of course at England and their chances. Let's hear from Thomas Tuchel, the England manager, has been speaking with TalkSport's Faker Evans.
Thomas, Costa Rica, final game before the World Cup. What are your thoughts going into this? How are you going to manage it?
We want to take the next step. And 2 days to prepare it. I think the Arsenal players are back, so we have full squad available, and we want to take the next step in terms of intensity on the ball, off the ball. It would be important to finish the pre-camp on a positive note, so that's what it is. We will give the players 60-70 minutes. That's basically it.
What are you expecting from them? What kind of test are they going to give you that's going to help?
Like I said, we'll step up in intensity on and off the ball. I don't really know what's coming. Costa Rica has a new coach and they change formations many times. They're getting better and better defensively, but yeah, it is more about us than about them. We want to take the next step and finish this game properly.
Bearing in mind 60-70 minutes for each player, how much is the starting 11 in Orlando going to reflect the starting 11 in Dallas for the opening game?
I don't know because it makes no sense. It's even if I had it in mind, so much can happen. We have this match now, we have a private match the day after, we have 4 training sessions to prepare Croatia, and Croatia will offer completely different things than Costa Rica. Maybe the starting 11 is the same starting 11 like against Croatia. Maybe there will always be chances for changes. I'm not even sure yet.
You know how obsessed we all are with it, though.
Yeah, I know, but I just focus on the next match, and this is what it is. And then even if we come to the point of the starting 11 against Croatia, it will very likely not be the same starting 11 for 8 matches, so it's not a bigger deal, but I know that's a good feel for you guys.
It is, as is the question over who starts in the 10. I know you're not going to tell me the answer to that, but I've got a couple of questions on it instead. But what do Morgan Rogers and Jude Bellingham bring to the team individually, and the differences between them maybe that enhance England in different ways?
They're just top football players, both of them. Morgan is a bit more vertical than Jude in his game, but both of them fantastic players. Morgan, key player for Aston Villa, got a European title, played 5,000 minutes, I think. It's a proper machine, and is non-stop available and getting better and better. We could feel in the first days of camp that Morgan needs a bit of time to restart the engine, but he got stronger and stronger in the last 2 training sessions. Jude, after his injury, trains with a lot of joy, played with a lot of joy. He's just happy to be back on the pitch, which is not a surprise, and is actually something we can use because he hasn't played so many minutes. Comes back from injury, so he's in a sweet spot at the moment. They give us very different things, but both of them give us a lot of quality. They both give us physicality, and they can also play together. But it's also nice to have one of them finishing a match when things get hot and when opponents get tired. To have one of these guys with other guys coming from the bench can be a huge asset through the tournament.
Yeah, I can see that completely. With that in mind, you mentioned the minutes there. As you said, Morgan's played over 5,000 minutes, and because of Jude's injury, I think he's played just over half that. So does that play into your thinking at all?
Of course, and we can just see it, and hopefully we will. The tournament is a long tournament. It's one more game per se, and then it's hot, it's humid. Maybe we have to deal with altitude, and hopefully we enter the stages where it's possibility to play 120 minutes. We need to think also about what is the team that should finish matches, what is the team that finishes matches off and gives problems, creates problems from the bench. will just buy into all our decisions, and the players know that. There will be no big deal around within the group, but of course I know that some positions we have just a lot of quality. Don't forget we have also Epps on the number 10. He plays for Arsenal very regularly on the right 10. So big players, big personalities, and we need it.
Well, brilliant interview. We'll get stuck into a lot of what Thomas Tuchel said there. Some really interesting stuff in just a moment. Another goal though at Everton from Matt Jones.
Yeah, it's England 3, Ukraine 0 as we approach the 17th-minute mark. It's the half-time substitute Beth Mead who's got a delightful free kick, which she finds the far bottom corner with from about 20 yards out, given away for a shirt pull on head right on the edge of the area, and she bent it around the defender who she uses as a guide to beat the goalkeeper. It's no more than England deserves. Slightly more scrappy this second half than in the first when they were completely dominant, but they have a resounding lead. Unfortunately, in terms of World Cup qualification, it's not going to mean much because Spain are beating Iceland 5-1. And remember, England needed to better Spain's result tonight to have any hopes of direct qualification for the World Cup. But it is England 3, Ukraine 0.
Yeah, it's my opinion with the latest goal for Spain 5-1 up in Iceland. But wow, Jim Proudfoot, Thomas Tuchel, revealing a lot in the interview with Sports Paper others.
Yeah, it was interesting. And he made the point 2 or 3 times, didn't he, about the fact that we would have to look at the team that's going to finish the matches as if to underline that is every bit as important, if not more important, than the way that England start. And he also made the point, and he didn't quite labour it, but he was very clear that he sees Morgan Rogers as a player who is more vertical in his approach. So that made me think more than ever that he sees Jude as the starter and Morgan Rogers as a player that will come off the bench and potentially will be the finisher for England.
Can I just ask, the vertical comment, what exactly does that mean?
Don't ask me, I don't know.
I was left floored by that.
Does that mean he goes from back to front a little bit more readily than
I don't know. Yeah, that he will play. Yeah, that he will play between the lines. That he will be able to take the ball. And this is my interpretation of it. He will take the ball and will be prepared to take on defenders in a way that Jude might do that with an eye for a pass or with movement. Although Rogers is a little bit more direct. That was my understanding of it.
I didn't understand that. You've made it make sense. Thank you very much.
More believable.
He also said Morgan Rogers needed more time to restart the engines, but Jude, despite the injury, has been training with joy. Did you read anything into that?
Yeah, I do. There's not a seed of doubt in my mind about who'll start. With that, literally that line. As soon as he said that, he's had a look and he thought, maybe Morgan Rogers just needs a little game or two. So that'll be interesting. I'll stick to my prediction that he'll start him, but that's given me a seed of doubt.
Yeah, I wonder why he's revealing that as well, because we've already worked out he's a very intelligent man, but he's actually putting that out there. He doesn't have to tell us any of that, does he? But he's putting that out there, and I wonder why.
Let's give him credit. Maybe he's just an honest man that threw it out there. Like, when we interviewed him a year ago, the one thing that struck me, he's not a politician as a footballer. He'll give you an honest answer to an honest question. When we threw the question at him, which player in world football would you want in the England team? A lot of managers would sidestep that. He went Rodri straight away. There you go. There's your answer. And I think he'll give you an honest answer. That's why he's given us what he actually has then, and we can sort of pull that to bits.
Okay, so if you were the manager and you've talked about closers for the last 4 or 5 years, we've been living in England. Who's your closer? What do you see as the front four to finish a game?
You're asking me which ones do I think have got the best impact. I think Eze could be quite good at that respect. I think Rashford's a good finisher. I really do. If I was looking for a goal and I thought, who am I going to throw on to get me a goal? Marcus Rashford would probably be one of those names. I think he'll start, and I think he's got himself slightly ahead of Gordon. But if you're asking me solely a question now, not what team to pick at whatever day, which ones of these players, I think Madueke is in that ilk as well. I think he's a little bit more direct than Saka. So I would say he would be one, Rashford the other, Eze definitely to do that, and then you change your centre forwards if you want to do so.
It's interesting that I mean, you talk about who's the best finisher, but surely it depends on the game. If you're 1-0 down, 1-0, it does depend. So Anthony Gordon, for example, if we're 1-0 up and need to defend that lead, I would have him as a finisher because he's up and down and he can defend as well as be a threat the other end. You know what I mean? If we need to go Rashford, I think you're absolutely right.
Sure, but you don't know when you're picking your starting 11 and then thinking who you're going to be leaving on the bench, whether you're going to be 1-0 down with 20 minutes to go. But I completely understand the point you make. I think that you can look at it and you can say, well, this is a game where we are going to have 65% of the ball. I think you can look at it that way. And you can look at a game, you can say, well, this is a game where we might only have 40% of the ball, and so if we're chasing the game, we're going to be more likely to be trying to hit on the counter-attack, or we are going to be in a position where we're going to have to try and break sides down vertically. To use what the terminology that Thomas has just come up with. So the word of the it may well be, and we'll find out what it means before we have to use it again. I think that it is difficult, and there's clearly it's going to be horses for courses. And going back to the discussion we had earlier about what's the back four, it will depend on the opposition shape, and it will depend on again possession and the way that they will play. The back four could be different for varying games, and again he kind of alluded to that, saying it's not going to be the same starting 11 for all 8 matches, which underlines what we're saying. But I think that I'm intrigued. Well, it was a great interview from Fela because he's said in 300 words, he's given us like half an hour's worth of material just to sort of sit and mull over and pick apart.
Yeah. I think when you really push comes to shove, when you talk about finishers, in old money that means when you look over your shoulder from the technical area, which one of that mob sat behind me can go and get me a goal? That's what we're talking about. And I know it's expanded finishers, it's do we need to close the game out, do we need this? But when we talk about finishers, we're talking about people, I'm going to look over my shoulder, who's going to come and get me a goal when we're in Mexico City at 0-0 or losing 1-0, when we're playing against Brazil and we need to, it's 0-0 on 70 minutes, who's going to come and make the difference? I think that's when it really counts.
To answer a question you posed earlier, the Miami behind closed doors friendly was arranged 3 months ago. We've just found out. So there you go. TalkSport's teamed up with Meantime to create a lager in time for the World Cup. It's called So Good Lager, which will be poured from all O'Neill's pubs and some of the best sport pubs across the UK. So whether you're watching the match in the summer or settling in for an afternoon with your mates, make sure you check out talksport.com/sogood to find your nearest pub. So Good, 18 plus, please drink responsibly. We're live in Orlando, which is where England play Costa Rica tomorrow. We'll have that live for you as well on TalkSport.
Thank you, Jonas, here at Royal Ascot, where the fans are out in force. As always, the top hat and tailors are here, looking the part, even if their sets are a shot in the dark. All steady. There's the parade ringers, casting their eyes over what any of the tipsters say. And out of front, it's the showstoppers. Their outfits have been planned way more than their bed slips. One-of-a-kind racing fan you are. Don't miss the Coral Daily Download every morning from 6 on TalkSport with Coral. We're here from the morning of fans. It's Royal Ascot, 18 plus, gambleware.org.
Squishmallow squad get us underway. Oh, strong header from Maui, straight to Boyle on the wing. Here comes Gordon. It's a goal!
The Squishmallow squad are now in Happy Meal. Some fun, some food, it's all inside this Happy Meal. Until available August from 11 a.m. Please don't be selectable, but some Squishmallows range comprises toys on while stocks last. Fair origin policy.
At Leyland, we've been perfecting our paint since 1922, so you traders can get a flawless job with minimal faff. Enough said, really. Which leaves about 20 seconds to talk about something else. Black footy jargon. The classic. It's a game of two halves. How about he gave 110%? Can't forget, they just wanted it more. And of course, at the end of the day, let's keep it simple. Nothing wrong with saying got the job done. Anyway, the point is, Leyland Shade Paint. Enough said.
At the third stroke, the time from BT will be 11 o'clock.
Today, BT will protect UK businesses and homes from 4 million cyber threats. So UK businesses can send 11 million order updates, call 34 million now texts, and come off mute 200 million times without disruption.
At the third stroke, the time from BT will be brilliant.
BT Business, protecting more businesses than any other network. Point public dated Q4 2025. To verify, see bt.com/games. The all-new, all-electric Toyota CHR Plus. Sleek, stylish, KPR representative with £1,500 deposit contribution and save £1,500 with the electric car grant. Get that Toyota electric feeling. Visit your nearest Toyota centre. Price from 34495, available on Toyota PCP when financed through Toyota Financial Services by 30th of June 2026. Optional final payment and indemnities may be required. See website T's and C's apply.
Air conditioning and refrigeration contractors. This is one way to keep things cool this summer. The other, get over to Climate Centre. With specialist cooling branches across the UK, we've got everything you need. Top brands, spares in stock, plus expert support when the pressure's up. Keeping jobs moving, keeping customers cool, all summer long. Find your nearest branch at climatecentre.co.uk. Climate Centre, a Wolseley business.
The 2026 FIFA World Cup kicks off this Thursday live on TalkSport and TalkSport 2. With Icon on the build-up and full match commentary of the opening game, Mexico versus South Africa, live from Mexico City. Absolutely extraordinary! Kickoff, 8 p.m. It's just pure entertainment now, isn't it? This summer, get your kids on Route 66 and beyond. The 2026 FIFA World Cup starts this Thursday with the opening game, Mexico versus South Africa, live on TalkSport. Kick off with Adrian Durham, Stuart Pearce, and Jim Bradford.
And the three of us are live in Orlando, in Florida, at Golden time as well. So the line is 3-0, although Spain are 5-1 up, which means England will have to go through a playoff to qualify for the World Cup in Brazil next summer. Shall we head to Charlotte, North Carolina, because following Scotland for TalkSport is going to be our very own Siobhan Ahern, who is with us live on the show. Siobhan, I've got two questions for you. Why didn't they let you off the plane? What did you do wrong? And secondly, why on earth have you packed a golf club in your luggage? What's going on?
Well, where do we start? Good evening, good afternoon. What time is it where you are, guys? It's, Sam, what time is it here? I've no idea what time it is. It's about 4 o'clock or something in the afternoon here. It's 25 to 5. There you go. I'm across it all. Good start. We've just got to the hotel and I'm sweating buckets, but we made it here safely. There was that hour delay when we landed in Charlotte. Reason being because it's always the hardest things that seem to get done and the easiest things where people go wrong. You know, you can fly a jet, guys, across the world and that can all go on time, and then when you land, the people who are bringing the stairs to get you off the jet are having their lunch. So that's what happened there. But we made it to the hotel in the end, and the reason I've packed a 7-iron is because Mama's got to practice, and there's so many golf areas around about Charlotte. It's known actually for its golf kind of areas, and there's putting greens and whatever nearby and driving ranges. And as you know, Adrian, I've started playing golf, so I thought if I've got any downtime, it'll be spent on the driving range. There you go. That's all from me.
You're not having any downtime. For those who are watching on their smart TV or on YouTube, can you describe what's on your head?
I just assumed you'd be able to see me, guys, with technology these days, but I've got my wee Jimmy bonnet on and my ginger hair, and then I happened to bring a couple of cans of Iron Brew. I thought this was clever for if the guys get homesick in camp and they need a little pick-me-up, I can give everyone Iron Brew and Tunnocks tea cakes. But I'll save one for you, Adrian, because I know you've got Scottish in you as well, so you can have that one next time I see you. We are about 10 minutes from base camp in the car. So we earlier on, the training session took place for open training. Everybody trained today. And then it was Craig Gordon who did media, so he sat down with the troops today. Apparently it was quite emotional. He spoke about thinking this was never going to happen, and now at 43 years old going to a World Cup. So it sounds like it was a lovely day for day one inside the camp, and we'll make sure we're there tomorrow to speak to the press as well.
Okay, Siobhan, just tell me this, as a proud Scotswoman, how far do you think Scotland can go? Because the last couple of games, there was even a clean sheet in there as well as a lot of goals.
Honestly, guys, I think we're coming out the group, and then I don't want to be too presumptuous because I remember being like this in Germany and Munich on our first game, and we opened the Euros against Germany, and then we get absolutely slapped about at the Allianz. And now I'm looking and going, okay, be a bit more measured, but I just think we've got so much going forward. I was saying this earlier on this morning, I think we can definitely do a good job over Haiti, I think, if we've got our shooting boots on and Shankland's on form and he links up with Shea Adams. And then, of course, we've got wonderful players in midfield who know how to find the back of the net. I think we could put 4 or 5 past them and we'll need that goal difference. I think Morocco's going to be tough. I think Brazil, maybe there could be a surprise in there. Maybe I'm on Delulu land, but, you know, it's the hope that will kill you. I think we'll come out of the group and then you never know. In the last 32, you never know. I can hear you laughing at me. It's not funny. You've got to believe. You've got to believe when you're at a World Cup. I think we'll get out of the group. Do you?
Well, no, it's not. I'm not laughing at your prediction. It's what's the Lululand?
You'll find out.
Are they good? They can play on it.
Made it through the playoffs.
But it is, I mean, on the plane there was a few Scotland fans in Kilts. I saw a lovely dad and his daughter travelling together and they had the get up on, and you can really feel it, that there's this energy, there's this belief that now is the time. It's never been done before. Going through all the stats, going through our group, just looking into it in a bit more detail. You know, Scotland have no records really. You know, we get to World Cups and that's all we do. We haven't been here in 28 years. But this is a good side, guys, and I know you all feel that way as well. You watch more football than most. There's something about this Scotland team, and we're littered with stars as well, but you've got, you know, good mix of experience in there, and young players coming through. I'm loving Ben Gannon-Doak, because I remember at the Euros he ended up being injured, didn't he? That was about 2 months before the tournament. He was out with injury, and that was a shame at the time, because I remember myself and Ali McCoy talking about him and going, with a player like that. But I think what he showed against Bolivia, we've got a lot to be excited about going forwards, and hopefully in that opening game a lot of goals will be put in as well.
Siobhan, joking aside, what does this mean to you? You talk about 1998, Craig Burley, the last person to score a goal for Scotland in the World Cup. What does it mean to you to be on American soil, to be watching your country in this first World Cup that you played in for a generation? What do you remember of '98, and how are you relishing this opportunity now for your country?
Well, this is where the jokes come in, because people always think I'm older than what I am. So I was 8 when Scotland were at the last World Cup 28 years ago. And then the guys earlier on this morning were going, shut up, you're about 20 or something like that. I was 8. And I remember watching the final. I remember being a wee kid on holiday. We were in Ireland on our holiday as usual. And Scotland were at the World Cup, and that's it. That's the only memory I have at that time. And I remember these qualifying campaigns time and time again, and there's always fallen short. And we had good teams then as well, but it just was never to be. I think in the style that we have qualified, in that last game then at Hampden against Denmark, that wasn't the last game, we've had one since, but that game that really mattered. And you see the big boys step up, you know, that overhead kick from McTominay, you know, Kieran Tierney's goal, take your pick, the halfway line goal as well. It was incredible, Adrian. I was texting you that night. We were like, we can't say it on air, but the words that we were using to describe that performance, we were so buzzing that Scotland got to the World Cup. That's it. We're there. We're going. And now we're here. And Charlotte, by the way, I feel like you start to understand Steve Clarke a little bit more at major tournaments, what kind of person he is. He likes a home away from home, because we landed and it was piddling down. It was absolutely hammering it down. Okay, yes, it's very, very humid. My top lip is sweating right now. Hold on till I just pat this dry. Sam, I need a towel, give me a pat. But also the people. The people are lovely. I feel like I've landed in Glasgow. Everybody's so friendly and so helpful. And everybody's talking about the World Cup and have their own plans. So yeah, it means everything, guys. I feel very proud to be here, and I've not met any fans in Charlotte as yet, but we're going to go and take a wee stroll around the town now. It reminds me a wee bit of Glasgow, it really does. So a bit of a home away from home. I feel very lucky to be here, and I just know the day that we get into Boston, it's going to be brilliant, brilliant, magic, crack, and especially what happened at the end of the season there. It feels like it's such an interesting time, isn't it, for Scottish football? And then we park all those differences. We park the handball, we park whatever it is, whatever rivalries we have, and we all support Scotland at the World Cup. And to be part of that is, yeah, I feel incredibly proud to be involved. Buzzing as well, I can't wait to get going.
You sound buzzing, and by the way, there was no handball. And also, I am still pushing management for you and me to do a podcast featuring, a late night podcast featuring all the words we use on our WhatsApp exchanges, because we can't do it on air. It would have to be a specialist podcast, and 18 plus only. So I'm not sure I'm going to get clearance for that.
Oh, look at me, SJ winning. And you swear like there you go, I've spoiled it. Okay, I've spoiled it for everyone. Potty mouth Durham. I see you.
World Cup winning Scotland fan Shabana Hearn, thank you very much. That's like a whirlwind, isn't it? She's arrived.
The excitement that she alone is emulating is unbelievable, really. This is what Scotland bring when they come. You know what I mean? That's their first one that's arrived. You can imagine when the Army come in behind after that. Wow.
I have to say that I was in Munich for their first game of the Euros 2 years ago, and the fans were, I mean, it's a cliche, but they were sensationally good. They were brilliant, actually, and they lit up Munich. There were so many of them everywhere. And then on the pitch, the players just simply let the fans down. I think the players would admit that. Just said to Stuart very quickly, I don't think it's going to be like that this way, this time around. I don't think they're going to be that bad.
I have a really good feeling about Scotland. I think they're going to give a real good account of themselves. I see them out the group. I'll be astounded if they don't get out the group, believe it or not. I just think they've got a real togetherness at the moment. And the one thing I've learned as well today, that Charlotte is twinned with Glasgow. And I don't know what Charlotte think about that, but we'll find out.
I'm just hoping that it's still a live situation for Scotland by the time they play Brazil in the final group game, because that is a classic World Cup fixture. Now, we're giving you the chance to win a trip to the 2026 FIFA World Cup courtesy of Adidas. You want to make it be in New York, June the 27th, seeing England against Panama live. We've got your flights, hotel, spending money, match tickets, and the official try-on match ball all covered for you. Head to talksportwin.com to enter and for full T's and C's now. But hurry, entries close this Friday.
The ultimate football fan winning feeling with TalkSport Win. Just one cornetto. But actually, it's not just one cornetto. It's Cornetto Max, hazelnut and chocolate. So maybe instead of just one cornetto, it's more like just one cornetto max. Smooth hazelnut and chocolate ice creams, rich cocoa sauce and chocolate disc. The maximum of the maximum, the top of toppings, and that's iconic cone. Can you fit that into the first line, please? Oh, and creamy and crunchy as ever.
Unwrap your summer to the max with the best ever Cornetto. New Cornetto Max, hazelnut and chocolate.
Play all your favourite slots at your nearest Admiral Slots venue, with prizes of up to £500 on great games like Tide Power, Benamok, Sizzling Hot, and brand new Piggy Prizes Wish of Riches. It's playtime at Admiral Slots. Now with over 290 venues nationwide, there's one near you. If you're ready to play, spin safe at Admiral Slots, where our friendly team are on hand to help you play responsibly and stay within your limits. Find your local venue at admiralslots.co.uk. Over 18s only. Please gamble responsibly.
It's like a jungle sometimes. It makes me wonder how I keep on going on there. Get that Toyota electric feeling with the all-new, all-electric Toyota Urban Cruiser. Available with 0% APR representative and £1,500 deposit contribution. And save £1,500 with the Toyota Electrified Saving. Visit your nearest Toyota centre. Price from $29905. Available on Toyota PCP with finance through Toyota Financial Services by 30th of June 2026. Optional final payment and damages may be required. See website conditions apply.
It's coming gnome. Join Scomo Group and now gnome mascot for our summer competition. Buy any world-class products from Click, Obaya, Unicrim, Elucian or ESP at any electrical wholesaler during the summer, and you could be in with a chance to win vouchers, merch, football shirts, or even a £5,000 holiday voucher. Score big and enter with every purchase. Kick off on the 8th of June to the 19th of July. It's coming gnome. Terms and conditions apply.
They're the playmakers, the game changers, the leaders on the pitch. They're the safe hands between the posts, the on-target icons in the box. They're TalkSport's King of the Match, brought to you by Burger King. Listen after every massive match to find out who will be crowned the ultimate high-performance hero. TalkSport's King of the Match with Burger King. Make it a hat-trick with a new Burger Buddies box. 3 snackable icons, the Whopper, Big King, and Barbecue
unbeatable content from the world's biggest sports radio station. Whenever you want, wherever you want. Available from the App Store now. Terms and conditions apply.
Right, let's head to Everton. It's full time for the Lionesses, Matt Jones.
And it's finished England 3, Ukraine 0. A dominant performance from England, certainly in the first half when they could have had 6 or 7, truth be told. They got the breakthrough in the 14th minute. Jess Carter heading home from a Lauren James cross, and then before the break got a second when Stanway lunged in at the back post to just about get a toe on a low Russo cross and prod home. It was a little more subdued after the break. Lauren James came off at half-time and she'd been the orchestrator, and perhaps the fact that Spain were winning so convincingly against Iceland meant there was less conviction about England, but they did when Beth Mead curled a delightful free kick into the bottom corner from just outside the area on 67 minutes. That's how it stayed, and a good convincing win. But the bad news for England is that Spain absolutely demolished Iceland, that one finishing 6-1, and it means Spain finished top of the group. England come in second place, and they are now consigned to the playoffs. And the draw for them takes place on the 18th of June. The ties will be played in October, November and December. They need to come through 2 double-legged ties to reach the World Cup in Brazil. So a good performance and result to finish it, but not the outcome England wanted in terms of qualification. England 3, Ukraine 0.
Yeah, 6-1 Spain in the end, and in both the games in this international break, Spain have brought on Ballon d'Or winner Atana Bonmati. She scored both times after coming on, and it tells you just how strong they are, and actually what an achievement it's been from England to win the Euros twice in this period of time under Serena Wiegmann. But playoffs it is if they're going to qualify for the World Cup in Brazil next summer, and we'll keep you in touch with those on TalkSport when they happen, and with the draw, of course. I want to quickly go back to a conversation we had with Christina Unkel, the former FIFA referee, yesterday. She was here with us in Tom's Watch Bar, just talking through the new rule changes that are going to come in. Let's hear from her talking about those rule changes on the show yesterday.
I think you took, what was it, a minute and a half to lay out all the new changes. So, you know, pure soccer purist as I am, I actually don't like the I really don't. I love the skill set. Yeah, I mean, but it is what it is, right? Where I've had other stakeholders, I get it. Not just millions, but $1 billion have been at stake, and that's what it is, right? It's trying to implement perfection in a game that's imperfect, which is why I love this game. I think it's why everyone loves this game, right? You have your if you're romantic at heart, you have your villains, you have your saviors, you have overcoming defeats, and the more you implement this technology system, the more there is an expectation for perfection, which is just what even Albert Einstein said, accredited would never happen. So it's here. And with people on it, it's here, we can't do changes anymore. It's being implemented whether we like it or not. So how do we move forward with this? And from the refereeing standpoint of it, a lot of them are focused on accelerating the game and empowering the official to be able to accelerate the game outside of, we've seen substitutions where the referee has to go to the person being subbed and jog alongside and be like, let's go, let's go, let's go. And we're doing that to be proactive so the other technical staff believes that you're helping. It's really not helping. So some of these are going to institute and help, as you mentioned, Japan. We've had that here in Major League Soccer. Go figure. It was Suarez and Messi that situation happened right out of the gate. And guess what? The next Suarez substitution, he sprinted off the field. He's not a sprinter, I can tell you. And it is having the effect that it needs to have. And at the end of the day, when you implement any law, it needs to be changing. It needs to be impacting play or curbing some type of action, and that's what it's starting to do.
She was terrific on the show yesterday, Christina, and the new rules primarily to eradicate time wasting and slowing the play down, throwing countdown, goal kick countdown, etc. Treated players got to stay up for 60 seconds, etc. We went through them all yesterday. Didn't really hear enough from you because Christina was so good on the subject. What are your reflections on those rule changes ahead of the World Cup?
Timings was a big one for me. If I was bringing the squad to a major World Cup, I would want time to sort of digest those, maybe get outside referees to come in and talk to the players. I've done that before in the past with Harold Ware, who's come in and talked to our players. What's it going to be like going to a tournament? Do you referee games slightly differently? What are your interpretations as a referee of what's being put for you to utilise? Because the big one for me as well, interpretation. We've got referees from all over the world in different leagues in the world. their interpretation of free kicks, fouls, time wasted are totally different from person to person, and that's what makes it so different. One individual has made the laws, the new recommendations, but a multitude of people have got to put those into practice, and that's the concern for me slightly. We're chasing law changes season by season all the time, and it's accelerating to make the game quicker and quicker and quicker. It's I'd like to see how it pans out, and I hope that it doesn't influence certain results of games where we come away as football purists and think that's all the really good game.
I think one of the other things that we didn't really talk about yesterday, but will be interesting, is the tactical timeout that we've got used to seeing, where a goalkeeper will go down injured, in inverted commas, and then the players from his side and then the other side will go over and we'll get some tactical insight from the coaches. Now, that is a difficult one as far as the officials are concerned, because it hasn't been put in law by IFA. But what the teams have been told is that it will be frowned upon, for want of a better expression, for you to go and seek advice. But there isn't actually anything in statute yet that says that you can't do it. So that's going to be a difficult one to police as well, because all the teams have been told you can't go over and get instruction. But if they do, I don't know what the reality is and what sanction can actually be applied, because it's not in statute yet.
How difficult does it make it for you as a commentator that there's so many new rules in a short space of time?
Oh, I just lean on him. I'm fine. Don't worry about that. I mean, I've spent my entire career doing that. No, it is difficult getting your head around it, and we're in the fortunate position. I mean, from a commentary point of view, England are in Group L. So by the time that England have played their first game, we will probably have watched 8 or 9 other matches, and so as a commentator you can get your head around some of the nuances. We won't have seen everything by that stage, by any stretch of the imagination, but you will have seen a myriad of substitutions. You will have seen VAR checking corners. I'm still not happy about the legitimacy of that as a football fan, that you can see the ball go out of play for a corner, and they will have a look at it to see if it is a corner, but if it goes out of play for a goal kick, they don't have a look at that to see if it's a corner, because you could get a situation, and you know how Sod's law works, you will get a situation where the ball goes out of play, should have been a corner, goal kick is given, it's lumped down the other end of the pitch and someone scores from it. So you will have controversy whatever happens. No matter what they do to try and stop things happening, it's still going to happen. You'll still get controversy, it'll just be a different flavour.
Jim, good luck. Thanks very much. TalkSport World Cup Daily Podcast drops first thing tomorrow. It's me, Stu and Jim. With you most days, so subscribe to that from where you get your podcasts. We'll be with you tomorrow live from 7 p.m. for England, Costa Rica. It's the Sports Bar next.
Jim White and Simon Jordan on TalkSport. Mid-morning radio that's up for the job.
It's about brilliant, quick to get precisely nowhere.
Concrete sports talk.
It really is incredible.
Rapid-setting opinion.
Not justifying it, but you're explaining it. Leave an explanation.
With names all backed up.
Anthony Joshua, good afternoon.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Delivered tomorrow morning from 10 on TalkSport by Selco Builders Warehouse. Check stock in your local branch. We've got it at selcobw.com.
The Arnold Clark Upgrade event is on now. Get 2 years free servicing on used cars, or get a home charger for £549 when you buy a fully electric used car. Upgrade and save today at arnoldclark.com.
There's a moment every racing fan knows. You study the forms to get feeling confident until something shifts. Let me tell you this, a start someone has spotted. It's the difference between watching the race and understanding it. Sporting Life Plus closes that gap. More depth in every race car. Clearer ratings and analysis to shape your thinking. With expert tips and insight to guide your decisions. Join Sporting Life Plus for free. Because when you understand the detail, you understand the race.
When you're growing a small business, whether you've built a team of 20 or you're a one-man band, you need someone who understands the ins and outs. With an HSBC small business banking account, you'll have access to our business specialists, in person and virtually, as well as no monthly account fee, because whatever your small business looks like, we're proud to support you. Search HSBC Small Business Banking Account to get started. Subject to eligibility, credit checks and TCP. Visit business.hsbc.co.uk for details.
Sports fans, bold innovation. information, but do it by a bookie and a radio station. It's TalkSport Bet. The clues in the name, sports betting for punters with their head in the game. Sign up is easy on all your devices. Exclusive promotions and bet boosted prices. Criminal punters are sharing this tip. Get the king of the yacht. TalkSport Bet is a hit. 18 plus, gambleaware.org. Buy a used car this June and you could win back the cost. There's a winner every week. Shop now at arnoldclark.com.
From the soccer in Seattle to the tackles in Toronto. Starts this Thursday. Official broadcaster of the FIFA World Cup 2026. The fun. Talk Sport.
Good evening with your sports headlines at 10 o'clock. I'm Hugo Chambray. Thomas Tuchel says England can't be favourites for the World Cup because they haven't won it in 60 years. The manager's been speaking ahead of his side's final World Cup warm-up game against Croatia tomorrow. He also revealed starters in that match will get 60 to 70 minutes of game time. The build-up to the tournament's been dominated by political matters, border security and high ticket prices. The Somali referee has been denied entry to the US after an 11-hour immigration interview, while Iran say their ticket allocation has been revoked. Despite these controversies, Tuchel says he won't get involved.
And I'm very grateful for the FA that they let me separate it and they let me be the head coach and talk about football and just talk about football. Otherwise we have no chance to go all the way if that's not the case.
While the leader of the White House task force for the World Cup, Andrew Giuliani, wouldn't explain why the Somali referee wasn't allowed in the country to officiate matches.
There are a few things we can't talk about, but what I can tell you is that anybody who's communicating with bad actors that plan harm against the United States of America are not going to be admitted entrants.
Now the Lionesses will have to go through the playoffs if they're to qualify for the Women's World Cup. They beat Ukraine 3-0 in their final group game, but Spain topped the table with a 6-1 thrashing of Iceland. Elsewhere, the future of England cricket captain Ben Stokes is in doubt after he considers his next steps after breaching ECB protocols. He and Gus Atkinson are being investigated following an incident at a nightclub in the early hours of Monday morning. New rules have been introduced after accusations of a drinking culture within the England team. And Serena Williams has made a winning return to tennis in the doubles at Queen's 4 years after walking away from the sport. There's more on our website at talksport.com.
TalkSport News.
A man's been charged over last night's knife attack in North Belfast, and David Sullivan has been banned from attending youth and women's matches at West Ham since 2023 because of safeguarding concerns.
TalkSport weather with QuickFit. With over 400 EV-ready centres across the UK, we're top of the league for electric car owners. Visit quickfit.com and book today.
Showers easing this evening ahead of a rather chilly night with blustery rain tomorrow.
Kick off online, on YouTube, on the TalkSport app and Smart TV. Instant, multi-point, gameplay, action.
Weeknight scores by satellite.
Lightspeed weeknight football.
Well, these are the nights when heroes are made.
High-octane football coverage. Kick off. Around the ground. TalkSport.
Right, fans, here we go with the main event of the evening. Good evening and welcome to the Sports Bar Talk Sport. I'm Joe Aaron, over there, Jason Good. Has anyone seen that running order? Shambles, mate. Andrew Explode said you World Cup, we're asking this. What's your favourite World Cup moment? Loads to talk about. Also, we're going to be joined in the studio tonight by psychic Clinton Baptiste. And he gives us his top predictions ahead of the World Cup. And, bit of fun, a Sports Bar 11. Animals from countries participating at the World Cup. We're going to do that at 11 o'clock. Get involved in this show. Got a bit of Thomas Tuchel coming up as well. 03 717 Anyway, how are you?
Yo. All good? Okay, matey. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, mate.
Excellent. Are you getting World Cup fever yet or not?
Yeah, no, I'm there. I'm there. I feel like I'm there.
Are you?
Yeah, I feel like I'm amongst it.
Right.
I feel like I've got the sports bar schedule.
Yeah.
You know, we've got the running orders for the what's coming up.
We've got the live watch-alongs on TalkSport. You know, I'm ready. I'm primed. It's a big month coming up, mate. Big month.
Hopefully it's going to be a big 6 weeks. That's the plan, right? Big month kind of doesn't really do it justice. Scotland looking for a big month.
Yeah, but normally Scotland's for like a couple of weeks, isn't it? Right?
They're looking for a good 10 days.
Good 10 days, mate, Scotland. You know? No, I think Scotland's doing a bit right. I think.
It's all about
What are you doing? What are you doing?
No.
Coming here, we've just started the show.
How are we doing?
Like, we're on air, and you're messing around. Like, like honestly, it's a joke. You're plugging things in.
No.
No, so you're never ready.
No, I'm ready.
You're never ready.
Do I look ready?
You do now. But, it's a show.
No, do you know what? It's part of my routine.
What? Not being ready?
No, just getting stuff. As I come in, I get the vibe, the music, as I dress in, and say, then I kick in. Like, you know. Anyway, what's going on?
No, I'm right, mate. I'm right. Did you see the boys, the England team, you know, Henderson and that doing like keep ups in the ball, like little holiday? You ain't seen it, have you?
Was that when they stick it in the bin at the end?
Yeah, that's good video, mate. What do you mean you've not seen it? You have seen it. You have seen it.
No.
Yeah, that's a good holiday game.
No,
That's a good holiday game.
yeah, but I remember seeing like Glenn Hoddle and Waddle, them not doing it when they were Bobby
Game's
Robson.
gone though. Gazza used to get a cake outside, slamming it over the place.
Yeah,
But now we've got Jordan
no,
Henderson.
you can't have them. Listen, what's going on here? It is a question. What's going on with English cricket? Right, you've got Ben Stokes, and one of his cronies.
What's down there?
No, but I thought about this today when I was listening to TalkSport.
Yeah.
It was H&J, they were talking about it, right? And I was thinking to myself, imagine if that was Harry Kane. Can you imagine if that was Harry Kane? So we play, we get the first game out the way, get Crash out the way, all of a sudden, I'm going to just throw any name in there, right, just because it comes with him and Jordan Pitt, right?
Yeah, why picture?
That's what I mean. The first person comes out. It could be anyone.
Right.
It could be Henderson.
Yeah.
It could be Rhys James.
Why are you thinking Harry Kane?
Because he's skip.
Right.
Ben Stokes is skip.
Okay, here.
Imagine.
China Lions.
No, but where are they? Out in that
Where are they?
They've got the Hooters. They've got the Hooters, right? Like Harry Kane.
It'll Do Club.
Is it the other?
It'll Do. It'll Do Club in Dallas, mate. Apparently it's a good gap.
I'll find a better.
Now, apparently It'll Do Club is meant to be alright.
That rock production. What are these establishments?
Bit of rock good.
Like, we don't want them nightclub, but we want anyway.
We want proper gas. You know, we want late night gas.
So here's
Harry Kane was talking about it, like, you know.
Here's the thing. So it wasn't that. The reason we mentioned it is because Gaz wasn't that long ago. We're going back 30 years.
Yeah.
That footballers were absolutely slaughtered when they were out in Hong Kong doing the dentist chair.
Yeah.
Right. You obviously remember.
Yeah, of course.
Right.
Yeah.
Can you imagine now an England footballer captain? What's just happened with cricket? They get off so lightly, these cricketers.
Really?
They do, mate. They do. That'd be it's almost like a second story. And I think that's why they probably do it, because they're not quite. I'm going to say it again. Harry Kane is caught in a nightclub.
It'll Do Club.
The It'll Do Club with Jordan Pickford after a curfew, and we just run the Blackburn Club.
Right. Just in Dallas, right?
I mean,
that sounds a bit more.
Harry Kane is the most clean-cut footballer you will find.
Yeah, he is.
The reason I've used him, I just want to clarify, the reason I've used his name is because he's England skipper and Ben Stokes is England skipper.
Yeah.
That's the comparison.
I'm going to let your hair down. You know, let your hair down. Good game against Croatia. You know, score a couple, set up one.
Okay. Harry
Kane, get the Blackburn Club in Dallas.
Jamie O'Hara, he's made it into England squad.
Yeah.
It'll be bad.
What do you mean? I was not bad. I was
I'm
not.
not saying in this scenario.
What?
I'll be back at the hotel.
Oh, yeah, of course you would.
I would.
Of course you would.
I would.
Yeah? We'd have straight in group chat. Boys, I found a fire exit.
And a drain pipe.
We can find a way out. Yeah, I've got a couple of cabs booked. And we're going to the Blackburn Club.
Okay, can we be serious about this?
What do you mean? You want to be serious? This is a sports bar we're talking about here.
The point I'm making is that actually the levels have changed if you go back over the last 30, 40 years to where we are now. Footballers are far more clean cut now than other sports. That never used to be the case. It never used to be the case. It didn't.
No.
So you, by the way, Google image Jamie O'Hara coming out China White, right? Just Google image now. Do me a favour. Go on your computer.
No.
That's exactly.
No.
Well done, mate. Google image. I don't know what he's been. It looks
Why have you done that?
Looks like he's been eating
Why have you done that?
a raspberry lolly.
Stop. Candy. Why are you putting that out?
What, mate?
But that was not what I was, I was injured at the time. I wasn't in a tournament.
Literally injured.
Champagne.
Yeah, okay, that's fair enough.
Why did you throw me under the bus?
I'm not throwing you under the bus. The point I'm making is that footballers any football that went out and done anything like that was absolutely, completely terrorised. Cricketers, they get away with it a bit, they do. I know he's not internally, but as a spectacle globally, he's not front page news. That's
what was back page news? I mean, what?
When Teddy Sheringham and I can't remember who else was there, Gaza, that was a front page. All the ripped T-shirts doing that.
It was Gaza.
Going back to '96.
No, it was Gaza. It was the England World Cup.
Euro.
It was the Euro.
It was Euro '96. But anyway, I just thought it was worth mentioning.
Really? Did he mention it? No. You were keeping that one to yourself?
No, I thought so.
Really? You think?
Google him, Jamie O'Hara.
No. Like self-doubt, right? Because we'll get some images up with you. Yeah?
There's no bad ones of me.
There is. Don't know, mate. I've looked.
No.
Back in the days, mate.
No, to be honest with you, I was lucky.
Yeah, there's no cameras about. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, but the footballers now in the World Cup, they can't get. They're ultra professional, right? It's just.
But the money is pretty
footballers, you can't have that down. Listen, footballers go out. I mean, Cole Palmer's in Old Beach.
Is it Cole Palmer, João Pedro, and the Madonna thing?
What?
The Madonna thing. Cole Palmer and João Pedro are they're in a urine toilet, men's toilet. Madonna comes in, strokes their back. What? I know.
No, what do you want?
I know. I
know what you're on about.
But they're not an international duty parents, they can do it.
Right, hold on.
And Madonna's new video.
This has made a new music.
Right?
Yeah. Cole Palmer's.
João Pedro and Cole Palmer in it. That bit I didn't get.
What?
It's true.
Yeah. I don't think you can get away with going that.
No, listen, we've got 3 test kits. New Zealand won the first one, and he's the skipper. He leads by example.
Listen, they're going to come down hard, right? Of course.
It feels like it's going to be that.
That's hard. Anyway, do you want to talk a bit of English? By the way, I wanted to have a chat with you. I don't know if you know this, and anyone out there, I want to get a boat. Fancy, like, I'm getting old, I'm nearly 40 this year.
I mean, you're not like Captain Birds. Being like that great, yeah.
Getting old, feel like getting a boat. Like a little boat to take up and down the Thames. Not like a big one, just like a small one. Well, what do you reckon?
Are you rowing it?
I'm not rowboat.
Keep fit, Joe. Good shout, that, mate.
No, I'm not getting a rowboat.
Who cares?
I just want. Who cares rowboat?
Kez can't row, or she can't.
No, she's pregnant.
Not in that position.
So I just fancy like doing like a little boat. What do you reckon? I know you live the intent.
I said, not cheap, man. I don't look into it.
So you looked into it. So you're a perfect guy.
No, I'm definitely not the perfect guy. 100% I'm not the perfect guy, but they're not cheap. I would stick to, at the moment, I'd stick to like 4 wheels. I wouldn't go anywhere near a boat.
I'm not bored of cars. Cars are boring.
You can't get you to work. Well, you couldn't. Did you row something?
I could just row it up, park it, then I could park it into Captain's Boat.
Yeah,
then line bike it over.
Mate, good shout. Thick, mate. Right.
I'm not rowing a boat, Jason. I'm not a rowboat. I'm talking about a boat. I'm talking about like 2 or 3 berths, right? 200 brake horsepower, get speed to it, and take up and down the Thames. I mean, need some help.
They don't come to me, Bill.
I'll go on to them, mate. Let me go on. I'll go on to them.
I'm never going to use it.
You said you live on the Thames.
I know, but where's he going to live? Where are you going to board it?
I don't know,
mate, avoid.
I go fishing off the back of the road. So I've been looking, I've been trying to find a place in England or in France, right, where you can go fishing. Right? Take the boys, take the son, you want to go kart fishing. Isn't that, I can't find anywhere. There's no places who've got a nice gap with a lake. I can't find it. So I was like, well, you know what, why don't I get both?
You have carpets in the tent?
Yeah. Good carp. Good carp.
Sticklebacks?
I reckon you've got some good sticklebacks, yeah. Perch.
What is the #1 fish in the Thames? If you could eat, you got to eat. Can you eat perch?
I don't think you can eat perch. You can eat carp. Would you? I would never eat carp.
I've never walked into a fish and chip shops or carp and chips.
No, you don't get carp in a fish and chip shop. You can eat carp. I would eat
find it in
because
the
I love
fish
it.
shop.
What?
You can eat carp and it's in the
You
Thames.
get trout.
Yeah, do you eat trout? Do you get trout and chips? In a fish and chip shop.
It's cold.
How do you get? No, but unless you can get the fish and chip shop, I'm not eating it. Can you get cod in the Thames?
Don't know. I reckon you can. Maybe near the Medway. What do you mean?
What's the Medway?
The Medway's where it goes down into the South Coast. The Medway goes into it. So where Dartford Bridge is, that bit there, after that, it's the Medway.
I live the other side, mate.
I don't live the other side, Jess. You live in London.
I live in Surrey. I don't live there in the Medway. I don't know.
Have you been down the Thames? Which side is it? Where's it go?
To the sea.
Right.
Right?
So before...
Or into Oxford.
No, yeah, it goes to Oxford. The other way, it goes Dartford Bridge.
So what happens?
Then what happens?
So listen, you've got a boat, and then you can't keep going. Surely someone's got to hold on a second, mate.
I can go where I want, my boat.
Can you travel? Okay, let me answer this. Can you travel on a boat? So the Medway's what? It's dark, the big where it opens up, right? It
opens up.
Right. So you can you're telling me you can get a little boat, come all the way down, and go all the way up into Oxford.
I can go to France.
No, I don't want to go to France. I'm trying to go to the Thames.
Yeah, of course. What do you mean? It's a boat. You don't get there.
What? No.
You don't know. It's a river.
No, but is you allowed to travel the whole way? Is that like locks and things? They go, no, sorry, mate, can't travel any further.
Locks? I'm not Birmingham.
You get locks on the river, on the Thames. Get locks.
I don't know. Find out now.
I know you get locks on the Thames.
So there's a cut point.
Don't know. They get locks.
You said you do.
No, there's locks. I don't know where there's cut.
You get through the lock.
No, but isn't there a point you go to that and go, sorry, mate, fair enough.
I think you can go from. I reckon you can go from Oxford to France.
I don't know the answer to that question.
You know, I'm not really.
Why would you do that? I'm just scared.
It's probably cheap. Alright, get cold the episode. We're going to talk about boat. What are we talking about? We're talking about England. We've got Thomas Tuchel coming up. 0377722.
As fuel prices continue to rise, running costs are getting harder to ignore. So MG is making the step into hybrid simpler, where you can save up to £2,250 across the MG Hybrid Plus range, with no minimum deposit and 2.9% APR representative. A smart move, made simple. Book your test drive today at mg.co.uk. MG Motor UK. Not a lender. BCP balloon payment required for ownership. Registered by June 30th. T's and C's at mg.co.uk. The ball chart is up, the retro shirt is out, and the car flags are ready for duty. The familiar roller coaster of supporting England is here again. At Virgin Bet, we're strapped in for the ride with you, and we're adding to the excitement. Get a bet builder on every single England World Cup game. Virgin Bet, a good bet. Bet value £1 to £20. Min 3 selections, odds evens. Min £10 cash bet in June to qualify. Full terms apply. Gamcare.org.uk. 18 plus.
This is the moment. Everyone's leaving it out. So big on Tesco Marketplace. Watch high-definition headers with a smart TV. Go big with outdoor furniture to entertain your very own crowd. And feed the whole team too, thanks to a brand new barbecue. Our sellers have all you need to make every match a moment. Find us online at tesco.com/marketplace. Tesco, every little helps. Terms and conditions apply.
Squishmallow squad, get us underway. Oh, strong header from Maui, straight to Boyle on the wing. Here comes Gordon. It's a goal!
The Squishmallow Squad are now in Happy Meal. Some fun, some food, it's all inside this Happy Meal. Until the third of August from 11 a.m. Please won't be selected or bought. Squishmallows range comprises toys only. Buy stocks last. Fair drink across evening.
Morphy and Jacobs every weekday afternoon from 1 on TalkSport with Tool Station. First off, Tool Station, drilling down on the big sporting stories of the day and delivering a cutting-edge catalogue of big-name guests, including all the latest news, some outrageous views, and a trailer load of laughs. Don't miss the nation's favourite sporting lunch with the legendary Morphy and Jacobs. Weekday afternoons from 1 on TalkSport with Tool Station. First off, Tool Station.
The 2026 FIFA World Cup live on TalkSport and TalkSport 2. The foundation for ultimate football and glory. The 2026 FIFA World Cup starts this Thursday on TalkSport and TalkSport 2.
To create a lager in time for the World Cup. It's called So Good Lager, which will be poured from all oatmeal lagery and some of the best full clubs across the UK. So whether you're watching the action this summer or settling in for the afternoon with your mates, make sure you check out talksport.com/so good, find your nearest pub. So good, 18 plus, please drink responsibly. Ian phoned us up. He's a Man United fan. Didn't know that bloke. All right, Ian, right, Ian?
Yeah, not too bad, bro.
How are you, mate?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. I'm from that down from Sussex, right? The history right in London, right? So, I know quite a lot about boats, mate.
What, you have a boat? You have a boat?
Yeah, well, basically, I had a 72-footer working boat where delivering coal and that along the canals up the Oxford to one of the canals. Oh, yeah, sort of stuff, mate. Yeah. And then, I was listening to TalkSport every day, like, you know. No, I live in a bungalow, mate. I'm sure I'm for that.
Yeah. See, like Peaky Blinders, right? You used to have to go to Birmingham for lunch, right? You still do that?
Yeah, we can still do that, yeah. We can still do that.
And the guy from Oxford to France?
Well, you know what? I thought about that, mate.
This is